All right, welcome back. Another exciting day in the painting realms. You're finishing up Bellicor, it looks like, Bill?
Yeah, I thought I was pretty much done with him, and I was playing him, and I was showing him off, and I looked at the back of the wings and went, "Oh, that's not remotely done."
Oh, so you
So,
had a game with him too, even?
well, different rule set, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
I at least put him on the table, so that
Perfect.
was exciting.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I got Ulrich the Drowner going today.
nice.
Yep. And I'm gonna see
That
what,
guy's so cool.
yeah, what kind of ridiculous nonsense he's capable of.
Is he? Is he
Yeah.
capable of ridiculous nonsense?
Yeah. So, do you know anything about his rule set?
We went over it. I don't
Yeah.
super remember it, but
Yeah. So he can teleport himself in another unit,
okay.
and this probably needs an FAQ. But the way it's written right now is it looks like he can move after he sets up the unit.
Oh,
Yeah, but the other unit can't, right?
just sure.
Yep. At least that's what it
He
looks
can.
like. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, I gotta change the name. We're not doing Night Tome review. Echoes of Doom and Leaks.
Woo!
Yep. That's what we're covering today.
Yes,
Professional.
indeed.
Yep. But yeah, so you could take him. So I have a list I'm gonna try out. I think sometime this weekend with him. Because
Hmm.
if you take a Knight of Shrouds, their special thing is he can duplicate command abilities.
Oh,
Yeah, so
interesting.
I'm gonna try to duplicate his. The Black Coach can deep strike. Reikenor can move 14, and then I can like deploy 3 units with the Drifting Phantasms rule. So that is like 10 units right up in their face, turn one.
Oh my god.
That's the list I want to try.
That sounds pretty silly.
Yeah, I think there's at least merit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the issue is, that's a lot of 9-inch charges to make.
Yep.
So I'm bringing the cogs to make it an 8-inch. And then there's versions of this list I have that instead of the black coach have the incarnate to give the reroll charge bubble. So I
Oh,
kind of like
interesting.
put them at the end of the range and then they all reroll charges. The
Hmm.
problem with that is it stops people from retreating also, which is bad for Nighthawk because you want to always get the Wave of Terror bonuses.
Oh, it stops you from retreating too. Is
Yep.
that what you're saying? Oh,
Yeah. So
interesting.
the idea is like I'm gonna just barely have it in range to give the reroll charge bubbles, and then the next turn I move it back. So I'm not in the range of the bubble anymore. And then I can fall
Interesting.
back. Yep.
But then you're not like using the incarnate that turn to actually do damage.
I
By the
guess
sound of
neither
it.
turn I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, which that kind of feels bad for how many points it is.
Yeah, unless like somebody's wrapping around me too. And I need it to go back home to defend that point,
That's true.
is my thought, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that could work out.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that'll be a lot of fun. Nighthaunt have
Nice.
been a great time. I played against Deepkin twice, Stormcast once, and Ogres once.
Mm.
And I had like three very like not even close games where I won. And then the Deepkin beat me in a very close game. So I have a pretty good record with the army right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Playing against some Doc soon, Daughters of Cain.
Nice.
Yep. And yeah, I'm gonna yeah, very high opinions of the book so far. Been very
Good.
fun for both players even too. Yeah, the Stormcast one was like a little unfortunate just because I run like a roll off that was like very critical for him
Oh,
to win it
well,
too, you know? Yeah,
that happens. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But he was having fun. I was having fun. It's a great place to be.
that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were talking about like, yeah, not this rule set is what you said about Bellicor. You want to talk about
Yeah,
that a little
yeah,
more?
sure. Yeah, it's so me and a buddy at work have been we've been trying out this thing called one page rules
Mm-hmm.
in their Age of Fantasy game. And basically what it does is it uses a lot of the um it basically makes rules for it's similar, very similar game in a lot of respects,
Mm-hmm.
but it uses Sigmar models for the most part. Like they have all of the different armies and whatever. They obviously call them slightly different things, like,
Yeah.
copyright problems
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. But you can find pretty much all your models there, and they actually have a really great 3D printing thing too. Like they're actually like making their own line of models that you can print and whatever if you happen to have a printer lying around.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually really cool. They have a lot of good stuff actually. Like they made Tomb Kings, and there actually some really nice models there
Oh,
for that.
fun. Okay.
Yeah. Um, but so that rule set is actually very it takes a different, definitely a different approach. Does alternating activations instead of like Yugo Igo,
Yeah.
which makes for some very interesting decisions.
Yeah.
Um,
Changes the whole
but
dynamic.
oh yeah, it really does. But the overall gameplay itself is um, it's a very different game. It goes more on the minimalist approach on the units and stuff.
Okay.
Um, so in the armies, like you're not going to have like a ton of allegiance abilities and combos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they still managed to really get the feel for the armies pretty good, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
With the rules they do have. Um, and yeah, it's overall been a really good time.
Yeah. And we talked about maybe doing a show about that rule set one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. There's
yeah.
interest out there for sure. Yeah.
They
Uh,
didn't really have a model for Be'lakor, but in their Havoc Warriors, it's their Slaves to Darkness army.
oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, they had like an Archeon one, which is like just like a Chaos Lord on a dragon essentially,
Okay.
and they suggest Archeon, but it's like not enough points for me to be like, yes, Archeon is definitely the model I want for this. Like it
Mm.
just like wouldn't feel quite right, I don't think.
I
But
see.
like
Okay.
Be'lakor like felt
He's
a
right
lot
around
better,
there.
and I had
Okay.
just had him painted, so it's like, you know what, we're doing that.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Chaos Lord on Dragon. Yeah. That'd be a
yeah,
sweet kit though.
that would be a sweet kit. No joke.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about the you go I go kind of deal. Like it's a whole different game for sure. They'll probably
Yeah.
be fine in that, but I do like the you see what they do and then you get to react to it kind of mindset too.
Oh, of like you take your full turn, I take my full turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
less
No, it's
yeah.
it's very it's a lot more reactive and like back and forth, and there's definitely I'd say there's definitely a lot less downtime. That is one thing it definitely has going for it.
Yeah. And there's good and bad to it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different.
Yep. Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah, but that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, so how often do they update the rule set? I imagine they don't like line it up with the AOS books either. So like the
No, no,
Nightmon
no.
docked in it. Yeah, so they yeah.
So it's more of like a they do like a all at more of like an all at once type of thing. I think.
Mhm.
Um, I think they're on like version 2.5 or whatever right now.
Okay.
Um, it's but it's not like you'll get a new book or something. Like the each army is like on one sheet,
Right.
and like it more of a it's more of a stat line similar to. Did you ever play like 40K Seventh Edition? I think you did a little bit at
Yeah.
the end,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's closer to that where you'll have like all your stat line blobs, like or just like a list of stat lines, and then they have like different weapons they can take, which and you can like pay points for weapon options and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's a lot more akin to like what 40K Seventh was in that regard. But I kind of
Okay.
like it also to some extent, and it's really just like they give you options for different models. Is like
Mhm.
really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Man, I yeah, I played Actually, quite a bit of seventh edition. I don't remember a thing about it, which is
I
so
know, right?
weird, right?
It
Yeah,
feels like ancient history.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to crack those books open and look at them again at some point, but also
Oh
not
yeah,
in
you'd
any
be
rush.
like, how does this only have 3 wounds?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what is facing?
Imperial Knights had 6. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So are the wounds like that too, or?
Yeah, they are lower, but definitely not across the board. Um,
Mm-hmm.
things actually are a lot more killy in the game overall.
Okay.
Um, so like, wait, you have like one roll for to hit and one roll to save, and that's it. So like,
Okay.
it's not compounding like hit wound.
All right. So it's
Um,
expedited a bit.
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then but like this guy for like 300 something points, whatever he is, he still had 15 wounds. So
Okay.
it's definitely not out of the question for having like a lot of wounds.
Got it. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Did you get any regular games of Sigmar in, or just that?
it's just that so far.
Okay.
We don't have like a ton of time, so and that game goes a little quicker, so it's been working out to have that
Oh, it's like
more.
lunch break. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that checks out too. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I am looking forward to. I still haven't gotten a game with the Deepkin book, and I'm looking forward to that. Just
Oh yeah, that should be a lot
haven't
of
found the
fun.
time yet. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Book's so good.
Yeah,
And, like so internally balanced too.
which is awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, they really have been killing it so far in third edition.
Yeah,
There hasn't been like a bad book except for like maybe the Orc War Clans.
yeah, with Cruel Boys.
Yeah, Cruel Boys and the I guess the Bone Splitters aren't happy either.
Oh
But the
yeah.
Iron Jaws are like in a perfect spot for them.
Hmm.
So, well, oh well. Yeah, it's kind of weird that you feel like the Cruel Boys would have been the OP one. Seeing like
Yeah,
they wanted to push Dominion, but I guess like Dominion's not doing well at all.
it doesn't seem like it is. Yeah,
Yeah, which is
I've seen it at
crazy.
such low prices for like how many points of models you get in that
Yeah, it's like
box.
$130. I've seen people do that too.
I've seen as low as like 100. I feel like.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Just get it out of here.
yeah, it's
That's
pretty crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Let me just finish up this white a little bit.
I
Oh
suppose
man.
if you're just not into orcs or stormcast, it's like, well, I
Yeah.
don't know, you spend bucks.
And I think a lot of people who are into orcs right now, like, just see the tournament results of Cruel Boys and Iron Jaws, and they're like, all right, well, I'll play Iron Jaws till these get better. But I
Yeah,
think we're getting points changes with whenever that General's Handbook comes out, which should be soon.
yeah.
That might change everything for them.
And the other thing with like Stormcast is I don't know if you get a single model in that box that's like in any Stormcast competitive list, even though they're super good.
Yeah, right? It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, the Lord Imperator is actually amazing.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I think the Annihilators that are brought are the Hammer ones.
exactly.
Hmm. That's a good point, too.
To be fair, I haven't really seen the list, but from the list I saw, I didn't really see any.
Yeah, there's a lot of long strikes.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, that book, like, the internal balance in that book's really good. Except for, like, the 3 units that are,
like super problem.
yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wonder, yeah. Yeah, I wonder how points are going to shake out soon.
Yeah, that should be coming soon-ish,
Yeah.
right? Final Sandbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I think, yeah, I don't know, though, if they really want to, like, up the points that much. Because it's not like Stormcast are oppressive either.
Is there anyone that's like really impressive right now?
Thunder Lizards are above 60%,
Oh my word!
but I think that's it.
Crazy how things go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we were just talking about dragons a little while ago, and
Yeah.
like nothing but. And
Yeah.
are Thunder Lizards just strong against the dragon list?
Well, the thing that Thunder Lizards do that's pretty, like, off kilter is they army wide reduce damage by 1.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like a lot of like good armies that like need damage output like struggle to put output against them.
Yeah.
Crazily enough.
Just because like I feel like a lot of like good damage armies are like relying on like damage 2
Yep.
to really do a walloping.
Yeah,
And
I
like
agree.
damage 1 is unchanged, and damage 3 isn't like as big of a reduction, but like damage 2 gets hit real hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Even like damage 3, like you're paying a lot of points for that usually.
That's true. And it's reduced by 30, like 30%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they also have like a double shoot stratagem. Or command point.
Oh. Yeah.
Which yeah, I'm so sick of seeing that.
I know. Me too.
Yep, that's okay. Alright. Are you ready? Start
Yeah,
talking
let's
about
do
some
it.
of the new units. Alright, we'll start with the Skaven. They only got one new model, which was a resculpt of the Deathmaster. So, 7 move, pretty fast. 5 wounds, 4 up save. I thought they were gonna have like an invuln of some kind. They don't. They have like 5 attacks and shooting that 4/4 D3, which is a huge up from what it used to be. And then 5 attacks and melees, 3/3 minus 1 D3, which I think they used to have like 3 of those, and then 7 tail attacks that were like 4s. So like probably a damage increase overall. However, each time any
Yeah.
of those attacks hit on a 6, it's D3 mortal wounds.
Does that include
The range.
the ranged?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's actually like decent damage here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. And then it has this rule where it can you could pick a unit. You pick a unit of storm vermin or clan rats secretly. Like, and they just like hide in the unit, and then at the beginning of the charge phase, the start of the combat phase, if it's hidden, you could choose to reveal it and then like put it like within 3 inches of an enemy unit if it's within 3. So basically, if they get charged and there's like the clan rats are in combat, you can pop out in combat. Otherwise, he just pops out next to him.
All right, that's really cool.
Yeah. And then a clause he didn't have before, but now does, is like if that unit's wiped out, he is set up where that unit's wiped out with a mortal wound.
That's not like the end of the world.
No.
Was it before? Was he just dead?
Yes.
That would have sucked.
Yep. Yeah. So interestingly enough, though, it used to be any Skaven unit of models 5 or more.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and now
Oh, and you put him with the guys with the chains, balls and chain, right, or whatever. I feel like I remember something like
there's
that.
balls and chains and glooms like gits that have a similar rule.
Oh, never mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was different for me.
Yeah. But my point is that the Clan Eshin troops are units of like the same size minimum units. So I think it's very interesting they specifically call out not Eshin units here.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a hint that maybe those like sculpts that are old enough to drink might be omitted. Yeah. Wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, he used to be 110 points and now he's 170.
Okay. Does that include the alkalite? That is like super expensive for one model, and they come in like units of 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does include that, yeah.
That
Oh
was
yeah,
wild
that
when
thing
I
is metal. Yep.
heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, wait, it's like you can buy these in groups of 1, and they're a 10-man unit, and they cost how much?
I believe 15.
Oh my god, that is a very, very expensive unit if you want to go straight
Yeah.
straight to this.
I'm pretty sure people kit bash the hell out of those.
Oh yeah, I sure would.
Yep, for sure.
Because what do they get? Like you can get like they have gas mask or whatever, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. Yeah, and you can get those kinds of heads, no problem. I feel like
Yeah.
put them on some other like clan rats or whatever even.
Mm-hmm.
Or are they a lot bigger than clan rats? I don't know.
Yeah, they're about that size. People use plague monks too.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm sure somebody 3D prints like rat gas masks too
Oh, I'm sure.
these
Yeah.
days. Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, so yeah, I imagine that could be a unit that goes too. But yeah, overall, um, yeah, 170 might be a little much for this. What do you think? Do you think that's about right?
70. That's very few wounds for 170 points.
Yeah.
But damage is pretty good. But it's
Mm-hmm.
only 4 up save,
Yeah.
5 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they do have the survive. They're not going to get shot off the table right away because they can hide in the unit, right?
Yeah.
So they have that going for them.
Mm-hmm. I just wonder if the
Yeah, that's
mind game of
tough.
it like actually has more of an impact than it reads too.
It might. I'm almost wondering if it has less of an impact than I'm thinking it's going to have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's like, well, I got to do it anyway. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
the opponent because like I almost wouldn't be like if I charged this a unit that had this in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a part of me that would be like almost wanting to see it pop out and just maul the ever living shit out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a concern of mine too.
Well, I suppose you
Hmm.
could put it back in that case. Wait for a few guys to die, pile in.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, so maybe there's maybe not
Mm-hmm.
maybe because it's definitely like a almost guaranteed to get into combat type of effect. So
Right. Yeah, unless they wipe out the unit, which is possible.
yeah, I feel like it's very hard to evaluate at first blush,
Yeah,
like what it can
this
do.
is one that you have to like play, I think, before you really know.
Yeah, and it's definitely gonna be like certain people are way better at playing this than others, which is gonna drastically affect its value.
Yeah, and I know
I
like
think so.
like before, like it did not have like even close to enough damage to do anything. So it would just like
Yeah,
yeah, do its trick and then just splat against the enemy unit.
right.
But like mm, it seems like it has a decent attack profile now.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but like not crazy.
So like, might still just not be good enough. And 170 points is a lot of
It's
points.
a lot is the problem here.
That is a pretty big ask.
Yeah. All right. This is a maybe from us.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do any better than a maybe.
Mhm.
I'm sure it'll show up everywhere and be like, "Oh, how did you guys not see how good this thing was?" But
Or maybe not.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe not, or maybe we'll never hear about it again.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, and there's always the possibility that almost even likelihood that it changes points in the book.
Or
So
even rules or anything. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
these
that's
have
crazy to me
proven.
that the rules change too.
Yeah. Or maybe
Yeah,
there's just like an Eshin rule that is silly, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
All right. Let's talk about the clan rats and the storm vermin, right? All right. So clan rat. The thing that happened with both of these is they used to have a shield bonus at or 10 or more models. So like clan rats were a 6 up, for example, and then they had +1 to their save if there were 10 or more models in the unit. And now they just have a 5 up save instead.
That's
So
way better.
yep, overall a buff. Yeah,
Yep.
so when people are like a little mad when the edition came out when they're saying that like we want to reduce the amount of rules on units. But like a lot of rules are just kind of bloat, and I think that was lost on people. And this is like
Oh
a
yeah,
very
I
good
feel like
example of how it's a good thing.
yes, I definitely agree.
Yep.
'Cause there's like I feel like there's so many rules that are just like it makes the game like a little unwieldy at times, or
Yeah.
can having so many different rules. So yeah, anything to cut down on that kind of stuff, I think is very good.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And then
At least less feel bads for people too when you just like oh 5 up save, not realizing oh wait I have 9 guys, not 10, and then it's like oh did I cheat there? Oh I didn't mean to. Sorry.
yep.
And
Yeah.
that's always a shitty
Yeah,
spot.
unit size bonuses going away I'm very fine with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you it just mean you had to like count it out every time too.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, save some time here. All right. Yeah, and then so the banner is yeah, so the champion gets 1 extra attack. The standard bearer lets it retreat and still charge, which I think is a very good rule. And then the musician adds 2 to the run rolls. And like I think running's pretty important for your thing that you don't necessarily want to charge into, so it can like get where it needs to be faster. And you can still like at the double it. So if you do that, it's moving 14. And this is just like your
14's
chaff
pretty
steam.
quick.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then its special rule is at the end of every combat or every battle shock phase, you return D3 slain models. Which, yeah. I mean, I know these things die so easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but hey, it's something, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder though, because it's not a lot. I wonder if that classifies more in like rules bloat than
Yeah, we'll see.
like
The way
was it a rule that
yeah.
didn't have to be there and isn't gonna have a big impact, so you're gonna forget it?
I think if you like dedicate it with like a good combat unit, it's not gonna really matter that much. But I
Mhm.
think this just makes it kind of immune to chip damage,
Oh, that's true.
which we're
Which would be
seeing a
good.
lot of like lately too, especially in like the
Yeah.
Nighthawk book. Or
Yep.
if you like charge something or in combat with something that doesn't quite do a lot. Like I think it's probably a little better than it seems, but like it's still gonna not change much to a dedicated
Right.
armor.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like you go up against anything that's like worth a damn. It's just gonna that D3 ain't gonna do much.
Yeah. So they're 130 points for 20 though. So you could get a unit of 60 of these, and I think a lot of guys can't do 60 damage.
That's true. That's just a lot of damage output that you have to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you have priests in this army, so you can give it a 6-up ward.
And a 5-up save isn't like with that many wounds, a 5-up save isn't the worst.
No. And you can make it a 4-up too, which you couldn't before.
Yeah.
And then the points stayed the same at 130, so
3 for 20. Yeah, that is a lot of wounds. So yeah,
it's looking better
that's
for
not
them,
bad.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All
Yeah,
right.
being able to get to a 4-up actually feels pretty significant.
I think so.
Because like you'd normally be like, oh, I'll just go after it with like my thing that has like high damage, no rend or whatever. But like 4-up save, you have to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's really nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Storm Vermin, they got one more bravery. They got one more save. Their halberds went from a 2-inch range to a 1-inch though, but they also got +1 to hit with that. Otherwise,
Range in this game is bizarre. I don't know how the heck they pick ranges on certain weapons.
well, it's because the Namarti thralls stole the 2-inch range from this unit.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Is the joke, but yeah.
I mean, they have pikes just as much as thralls do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. That's
Yeah.
okay.
That
That's
being
probably not the
said,
point.
though, they're 25 millimeter bases, so it matters a little
Oh,
less.
they are.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
but it
I
is
was
weird.
thinking at first that they were 32, and I
No,
was like, "Ooh, that sucks."
yeah, but at 25, it's not. It's a nerf, but it's not as big of a deal in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Um, this
That
guy's
went quicker than I expected.
yeah,
You got those wings all nicely detailed.
very nice.
Yeah.
And so, do you have a backup torque on?
Oh yeah, I got all kinds of stuff. Well, here I'll show them off. So there we go.
Yeah.
There's the
The
almost
base looks
entirely
great.
finished Bellicor. I just need the chains, but
Yeah, wherever
there you
those
go.
may be. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. He's looking great.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how he's coming up.
Mm-hmm. I would be too. Yeah. Anyway, so I think the +1 to hit is actually pretty big because now it can go to a 2-up to hit with like an all-out attack, or if there's a buff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're special. Yeah, they have the same banner of uh a retreat in charge, and they have the same musician of +2 to run. But their special rule is they can bodyguard on a 4-up or a 2-up if it's a verminous character.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any good Verminous characters?
There's one that used to give like +1 attack as a command ability, but that just doesn't exist in books anymore, so I don't know what it's gonna do. There's a
Yeah,
Vermin Lord
right.
that's verminous. So
That sounds reasonable. Yep.
yeah, and like he was like
Oh, and
really
the
good in
Vermin Lords are
combat.
the big ones, right?
Yep, they're like the
Okay.
greater demons equivalents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So like yeah, bodyguard
Equivalents,
is
but not greater demons because
sure.
they're not because it's Skaven.
We'll see what the book says. But you know what?
Goddamn horn rat trying to be a chaos god.
The realist chaos god.
Yeah. What a joke.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I believe. Would the great horned rat lie to me?
Well, do you consider him a chaos god?
Yeah.
Then yes, he would.
Oh, I don't know about that. You're
If you
starting to
said
sound
no, then I'd
ridiculous.
say no, he probably doesn't lie to you then.
Marathi is a
See what I
chaos
did
god
there?
by that
Got you.
logic, then, right?
Oh, definitely.
All right, you heard it here first, I guess.
Would you expect me to say no?
I don't know. It was a test, I guess.
Did I pass?
I don't know.
Me either. It sounds like a Zinchian test.
Yeah,
I don't know who's winning.
I don't know either. I lost count.
Anyway.
But yeah, so they went up 20 points, so they're 135 for 10.
Okay, so a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Kind of expensive units, yeah.
Yeah, like before, like, they were just like a lesser hammer kind of deal.
Mhm.
So, like, they did like better damage, but like that's. I wouldn't call them a hammer because it's not great, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like bodyguard saves, and like especially in the shooting meta,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
yeah,
Especially if they have units that are like
hmm
um well actually that does give a little more play to the does it have to be a Verminous character, did you say?
no, it just gets a bonus if it's a verminous character.
Oh, okay. So it kind of gives a bonus to the previous guy we looked at, right? Like he pops out of the unit and
Yeah,
then can also bodyguard.
yeah, exactly on a
They can
4-up.
also bodyguard for
Mm-hmm.
him. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that adds to
That sounds
survivability quite a bit. I didn't even think of that.
yeah. So maybe there's some play there where you're basically like it's almost like tacking on extra wounds to your character by having the unit with them
Yeah, I gave him
type of
50%
thing.
more wounds. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's not like they could just like focus all their damage on him because
yeah,
they probably can't get that many guys in combat with him, right? To start with.
yep.
But then secondly, like you're passing off what was he bodyguarding on?
Four
What
up.
are they bodyguarding? 4 up? So he's taking
Yeah.
half of the wounds away too?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
All right, I think yeah, now we're on to something for sure.
Yeah. I mean whether or not it's gonna work out, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, let's try.
Honestly, that play pattern like has proven to be powerful in Night Haunt.
Yeah.
Like I've been playing 2 units of Spirit Host every game, and it's just like I charge in with every hero, and then they're
Hmm.
like the Knight of Shrouds actually with the command trait with the Spiteful Spirits. But yeah, I charged him into like a unit of Reavers and a Leviathan, and the
Oh
Leviathan
wow.
put everything into him and didn't kill him because of the Spirit Hosts.
Damn.
Yep, and then he
That's something.
did 14 mortal wounds with the Spiteful Spirit command trait.
Oh my god.
Yep.
14 mortal wounds. What is this command
So
trait again?
we went over it a little
Holy
bit, but
crap.
yeah. So
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
it's at the whenever it takes at the end of the combat phase, if it took damage and wasn't negated,
Mhm.
you roll it dice equal to its wound characteristic, and each 4-up does a mortal wound to everything within 6 inches. So I had 2
Oh.
things in range. And the Knight of Shrouds gets more wounds as he kills models.
Mhm.
So he was at 8 wounds at this point.
Yep.
And then I rolled 7 4-ups.
Wow.
Yep. And yeah. Also, like we were talking about like Cloaked in Shadow, which was like it can only get hit once in the combat phase and once in the shooting phase.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't know, because like I feel like you just get killed by the one unit that can do it. But like Bodyguard gives like such significance to that kind of rule, too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because then like they have to do 66% more damage in one volley.
Yep.
And like granted, some of the units can probably still do that pretty easily, but
Right.
not as many.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or if they roll
Oh, that's
bad.
really
Yeah,
yeah.
and like that seems like something a Skaven could do, right? Is just you can only target it once. They're sneaky, right?
Right.
So yeah, bodyguard's really good, especially with support. And if you have like heroes that are like kind of decent in combat, it gives them such longevity.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I think there's actual legit merit there.
Cool.
Yeah,
Let's see how it goes.
as a Skaven player, I'm very excited for both of these things. And then we got the
Hey,
Grays here. Yeah,
I
what's your
almost wonder if that's like why that guy was pointed kind of high because that
that
kind of
play
ability
pattern?
does exist. Yeah,
Yeah,
could be.
I mean the Nighthaunt heroes are pointed like pretty high,
Yeah.
and they've all been worth it. Like that army like Hero Hammer actually works, which I don't think you could say for most armies.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been having so much fun with Hammer lists. But yeah, so the Grey Seer went up to 14 wounds. Its melee profile is largely the same, except for the Rusty Spikes went from D6 or 2d6 on the charge to just flat 6 degrading. Which,
Okay.
thumbs up to that,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah, it's okay damage. These are, I think, 255 points. I forget it off the top of my head. Yeah. I got
Oh, and
pretty
it
skinny list.
degrades well. It degrades in the good way too. Oh, that's nice. So the
Yeah.
bad way for me with degrading is I hate it when 6 goes to D6 and 3 goes to D3
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess 3 going to D3 isn't the end of the world. But 6 going to D6 freaking sucks.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Because
agree.
you could go from like 6 damage to 1 damage in freaking blink of an eye.
Yep. Frustrating shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What else changed? So he's only cast one spell now, but he gets bonuses to cast and pray, weirdly enough, based on
Interesting.
his wound characteristic. And I think I said this on the little solo video I did, but I think for the most part, I value plus bonuses to cast more than more casts.
Yeah, because it's normally you have like the thing you want to do more than like, oh, I have a bunch of things I want to get.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah. I think on the whole, like, that's just much better.
Yeah.
He's got a special rule where he's got a 5-up board. In addition, he can beseech the words of the horned rat and become a priest instead of a wizard for this turn.
Can anyone explain why those are one rule and not two? Like, is there anyone who could ever figure that out? Why?
Because they're both related to the great horned rat, I guess. Yeah, because the
I
great
guess.
horned rat gives him a 5-up board and also lets him be a priest.
Well, good for fucking him. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind those being together or separate. But yeah, we always
It,
make fun of that, right?
yeah, because it's just like, because like I feel like you can read a rule like that and be like, oh, I know what this does, and then be like, wait,
I forgot
or
something.
like I know this rule is here somewhere, and you're looking through and you're like, I can't find it. Why can't I find it? Because you're just like you look at it, it's like 5 word. No, that's not it. You know,
Yeah.
next one, next one, next one. Wait, does he not do it? And then you're like, oh, that's right. It's part of the 5 word rule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird to me, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
I understand for sure.
We'll live.
Yeah. See, let's. What else has he got? Yeah, he adds to casting enchanting, and that degrades. We'll get back to the summoning rule. So he's got a spell that's 13-inch range. Casting value 6. And you pick a unit and you roll 2d6. And for each point higher than its move characteristic, you deal 1 mortal wound to them. But it can't affect flying units. Just, I guess you're just channeling it upon the ground, but I used to like these kind of effects, but there's like so many things that like are fast now.
Yeah, like the interesting. I think it might actually be interesting because like a lot of things are fast, but like it might not be because of their base move characteristic.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like if in actuality it's like better than it might seem against certain units because like Like for instance, like OCR is like super slow, right? But
Yeah.
like they can be fast, so they kind of like sometimes feel fast.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking there's like a bunch of like pure cavalry armies out there right now. And
That's
like
fair.
that might change in like hashtag horde meta, right? Like everything in
Right.
Night Hunt moves 8. And like the priority targets in like Oryx are like 8 or whatever the mega boss is, I think 12. And the
Oh,
dragons are
on
12.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a lot of 12s out there right now.
Yeah, honestly, that's fair. Yeah.
Yep. But there's a lot of 6s too. It's like on average you're dealing like a damage to those. I guess that's fine. But
What
yeah.
was the that was that a spell?
Yes.
Or what was the casting value of it?
6. So you need to show a 4 because of the +2 bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And currently
It's not
Knowholds
bad.
give a +1 to cast too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this could be a +3 allegedly.
So I guess my thought there is like if he has it on his war scroll, like it might be good against some guys. And so like and it gets like a lot better as your opponent's like move characteristic goes down.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're like you can like exponentially go up the average damage you're doing to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you happen to face an Urgle, like what a great toolbox item you have, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So like yeah, I don't hate that. Especially if you're gonna take him anyway, because I think you probably will for other rules. But
This is one of those things where like if I saw it on the lore spells, I would never ever take it.
right.
But if
Yeah.
it's on him and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be casting the lore spells anyway, most likely.
Yeah.
This is fine.
And then it's just like, yeah, it's like okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool little toolbox thing and that could do a lot of damage if you face the right opponent.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Peel of Doom. So it used to be roll 2d6 get an effect. Um Now it's roll a d6. So on a 1, it deals d3 mortal wounds to itself that can't be negated. Which, yeah, alright, so that's twice as likely to happen now. On a 2, add 6 to the move characteristic. One thing I forgot to mention, it can't move at all unless there's a unit of 10 or more near it, because it has to be
Oh,
pushed.
because they gotta push it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Daughters of Cain ones don't need to be pushed, but these ones do.
Well, they don't. Yeah, it's because they don't actually have any gods behind them. Like Great Horn Rat's a myth.
Oh my god.
You know, Pain obviously is pushing those things with the power of blood that is spilt,
Do
right?
you think it's like the Avatar jumps off the back? He's like, alright, I got it.
Yeah. Yes, that is now
That
now
has to be
canon.
it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
And
these
like,
guys obviously it's just endless tide of rats. You need to put the rats there. Like that's just how it moves.
yeah, and the rat ogre isn't
Oh,
smart enough to figure that out.
yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that checks out. Yeah. But yeah, so +6 movement's fine. Base 6. That degrades to 3, hilariously. Okay. Wall of Unholy Sound is on a 3. So it subtracts 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units that are within 13 inches of any friendly screaming bells for which you rolled this result for in this phase. Why did they word it like that?
Oh yeah, that's. I remember seeing this and being like, "Wait, what the heck is this saying? Hang on, let me reread this like 50 times
Yeah,
to
because if you
figure it
like
out."
read it quickly, it kind of sounds like every screaming bell
Yeah,
is affected, but then you read like a little closer, you're like, oh yeah, nope.
nope, no, it's not. Yeah, they worded it very poorly, I think.
Also, we never
Is there a
really
better way?
mentioned
Oh,
this, but like in a lot of the Daughters of Cain stuff, and maybe everywhere, but I was noticing that it's just like use this command ability if this unit is on the battlefield and could use it normally, basically. It's like yes,
it's no duh.
yeah,
Like, what are you trying to
mm-hmm,
accomplish with that extra, like, just like super extra amount of text?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel
Well, it
like if
doesn't say it, so I can use it when I don't have it in my army, right? And like it can affect it,
mm-hmm,
right? Duh.
yeah,
Rules is written.
and like that's even in the core rules too of how to use issue commands, right?
Yeah, so it should just not be written there
Yeah, in
if
every
they
single
already have
one,
it
yeah.
covered. Yeah, agree.
Oh well. It's not a big
Yeah,
deal. But yeah, it's
yeah,
just like that kind of stuff is so silly to me.
yeah. It's well, it makes stuff less readable too
Yeah.
because you feel like there's such a wall of text in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize it does something simple, and you're like, there has to be a better way to word that.
Yeah. Like
But
within
then again, when
13
they
inches of
don't,
this
then at
unit.
least
Yeah.
FAQs, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That one I don't know how, but okay.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. What's the next one? On a yeah, -1 hits pretty good. On a 4-up. Uh yeah, so roll a dice each time an enemy model is picked to issue a command while it's within 13 inches of this screaming bell. And on a 5-up that command ability is or cannot be issued. So
Is that
that's
only for opponents?
yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And like Lady O has that and it's really good. Like I've done like denied all out attacks or stuff like that. You can even deny inspiring presences.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, has that come into play yet? By the way, with Night Hunt.
Yes, actually, there's one game where I made 15 thralls run away.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Why were they in such a large group?
It was a block of 30 with like a soul render and Morphon.
Holy shit!
Yep. And I killed like 11.
And
And
he
then
was like
15
inspiring
more.
presence. You were like,
Yeah.
uh.
And he was bad. He's like, this book's broken. I don't know how you could say it's not. And like, he's
Oh boy.
okay now, but like, he was very mad. And like, you can't even be like mad back at that. She's like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
especially when you get out
devastating.
that hard.
Yeah.
That's rough. I mean, the funny thing is though, that's like how the game is like intended to work,
Yeah.
but it never works that way. So it feels really bad when it does all
Because
of a sudden.
inspiring presence is too good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just like it just warps the whole mechanic like so badly.
And like, I've been saying for a long time, inspiring presence should just be +5. And
That
so,
would be a way better idea.
yeah, because it would work like the same on like heavy elite stuff.
Yep.
And then like on a heavy horde where you just did a ton of damage. And I could just be like,
You know.
nope. But like I could say 5 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's a much better idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Not
yeah.
just make them immune to like a whole game mechanic
Mm-hmm.
that you had.
But yeah, with this guy on a 4-up in your hero phase and then a 5-up in that phase, you can do the same thing.
Here's another question: is
Yep.
morale just like a mechanic they could just do away with and everything would be fine?
Maybe. They
Like
try to
everything's
make it
still
work,
doing
right?
damage, right? But like
Yeah.
they've tried to make this mechanic work forever because it's like, oh, but it should be there. But like, should it? Like, could they just get rid of it and everything would be fine?
I
I don't
honestly
know.
feel like it, yeah. And I think there's like a time where like horde stuff was like way too good. And that's why it was there. But then
I
like
feel like it
everything
was
in the
there just
world.
because it's like a war game, right? So like
Yeah.
war games are supposed to have like I don't want to say some amount of realism, but like it's like almost like an expected thing that there's like some kind of morale in your army or whatever that
I
you have
th-
to deal with.
I think hordes were a problem in like fantasy like 3rd edition or some shit like that, right?
Oh,
And then
okay.
they introduced it in 4th as random examples, right?
Sure, sure,
I
yeah.
think that's the history of it. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, we don't have like enough damage to move these things in a world where like damage wasn't even close to how powerful it is now, right?
Right, yeah.
And so like maybe now it doesn't even need to be.
It's just
But
like a honestly it just feels like a weird mental thing of like, oh, I got to remember this too.
yeah.
And like it maybe it's relevant like one in like a few games or whatever or more if the army is actually like built around it a little bit. But
Yeah.
like
But
I
I'm
feel like
seeing like can't issue inspiring presence more and more lately, to be honest.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's that's a mechanic that is powerful. I'm just wondering if it's like even like a design space like that's worth like keeping around just
Yeah.
because it's kind of weird space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's all.
I think if they keep playing with it, yes.
Mhm.
Like I think it can get somewhere meaningful, but it hasn't been in this whole game.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. I think if they did like, well, I guess what is. So I guess my question is like, what is that mechanic like really trying to accomplish? Because it's like it's mostly just feel bads when you fail.
Yeah.
So like, is it like a meaningful like, is it a meaningful thing? Because like the times where you lose a whole eel because you lost one and then rolled a 6, and it's just like, well, that felt awful. Why did that just happen? And it doesn't feel like equally good for your opponent. I feel like in that situation, it's just like, oh
Yeah.
man, sorry, that sucks.
I
Hmm.
think part of the reason why it's so feel bad though is because like it's expected to never ever happen.
Yeah,
But
right.
like if you play like in a game in this game and then you get like really comfortable with the idea of being shot at, it's fine. But like when you first come into it and you have like no concept of like I want shooting in my melee base game, and then you just drop your full melee army that's slow and then they just like blast it off the map. That's a feel bad,
Oh,
right? Because you didn't
oh, for sure.
expect it. Yeah. So maybe the
Yeah,
feel badness is just because it's expected to never ever happen.
yeah. And then when it does, you're like, oh, damn it, that sucked.
Yeah, and then when it becomes part of the game, you evaluate it. It's part of the points, right? For you to
Yeah,
bring that unit, and then it's fine. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I do like um having having elite units not have a 6 up though. Like I feel like they should always have a 7, so you can only run away if you've lost 2.
yep, I agree.
Yeah, but I think Deepkin did up the eels, right?
They did. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, which I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Where are we
random
on?
aside.
Yeah, we got way sidetracked. Yep. So on a
Okay.
5 up, you pick an enemy unit within 1 inch, and on a 2 up suffers D6 mortal wounds. Okay. And on a 6, it's a 13-inch bubble, and you roll for each enemy unit within 13, and on a 4 up, it's D3 mortal wounds. So, like, the last two are just some damage, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's supposed to be, like, just fun and random, but, like, if this costs more than, like, 20 points, I don't want it.
Huh.
You know, because, like,
Yeah,
it's
the
so
ability.
hard to,
Yeah,
like, actually.
like plan anything around it.
Yeah, you can't plan it. And, like, there's times where you, like, roll a 5 and can't do anything with it, right?
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
feel like
that's.
that's a whole lot of text for like okay ability at best,
Yeah,
and
it
like
might
learning
do
that
something.
ability is like really tough.
Yeah, I
You know, I'm
agree.
not trying to be super negative today. I realized I probably am sounding kind of negative today,
I
but
mean,
just making like
we have
trying
to
to
give
make
honest
reasonable
opinions.
observations.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing. Yeah, we're not paid to be positive.
correct.
Honestly, yeah. If you don't like
Honestly,
something,
we
say
might
it.
be being paid to be negative, even.
Honest. Let's
That's
put
what
it
the
that
viewers
way.
want.
Yeah. Like, and like we were low on the Deathmaster until we realized the ward, right?
Yeah,
And then we
exactly.
changed our mind and we reassessed the situation. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's totally fine to just be like, this ability isn't doing it for me.
yeah.
But like the rest of
Or
it,
it's like
like
too much words.
it's a really good support piece already.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then there's one rule I skipped I want to talk about because what used
I
to be
thought
rolled in
it
that
didn't
bell.
sound like the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So what used to be rolled in that was on a 12 on 2 dice. So 1 in 36 chance. So it happened like 1 in 6 games you summoned a Vermin Lord. Which
Which is really
so
powerful.
swingy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they changed that rule. So it's once per battle you can break your bell if you have 7 or more wounds allocated to this guy. On a 1, you just blow up the unit, which is sad. And on any
Yep.
other roll, you add the dice roll. And if it's a 12 or less, the Screaming Bell is shattered. So you still have the model, but you can't cast a Crack's Call. And
Yeah.
the Peal
Yeah,
of
and the
Doom
other
you can't use either.
right.
But you still get the good part of it. And then, if you roll a 13 or more, you summon a Vermin Lord. So, like, what was missing here is, like, some slides with math with, like, the chances to do it. So, like, this thing has 15 wounds. And it's possible that, like, you come up with, like, on your turn and you have, like, 2 wounds left.
And you just get one.
Yeah, so on a 2 up, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, like, way more doable now.
Yeah. Can you bodyguard for this guy?
Let's see. Friendly Skaven heroes within 3 inches. Yes. Just a hero.
Interesting.
And this is a hero.
Well, the only reason I bring that up is because normally, like, well, that's not getting you closer to getting the Vermin Lord, right? But
Yeah.
like, my thought here is that, like, being able to bodyguard for something makes it more likely that you'll be able to keep him alive at least
Yeah.
and get him down to the low numbers
Mm-hmm.
to like get the guaranteed guy. So that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
And I like, do you have to? You don't have to bodyguard, right? If you don't want to,
Yeah, exactly.
you could do like a weird thing where you like intentionally like take a bunch of damage and then they like go, oh, I need to like kill him now, and then it's like, well, now I will bodyguard, like try to get him just so.
Yeah. Or if it's like something that you know does like 3 damage on average, or like not enough damage to kill it on average, you just choose not to.
Right.
Or like you don't even have to do it until you see the damage. So if you know like 3's coming, and this thing
Yeah,
has
you just be
4
like, yeah,
left.
take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like these weird rules have a lot more play with bodyguard.
Yeah,
Weirdly enough, yeah. Which is why we're so high on it.
yeah. Bodyguard gives you a lot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, 265 for this guy, which I think he's super worth it for that.
Oh, I mean, if you can get the whatchamacallit, the big guy out of it, Vermin Lord,
Yeah.
like super worth it. Yeah. Although I guess the thing is there, it's like it's A, not guaranteed, and B, like if you do get him, it's probably not in the first 2 turns or so.
No.
So like it has a more limited impact on the game.
Yep.
But still, what, like 300 free points or so?
Right now, currently, yeah. Could be
Yeah,
more.
could be more.
Yeah, but
Probably won't be less.
even without summoning the Vermin Lord, it's a 15 wound wizard with a +2 to cast. That can also be
Yeah,
a
I mean,
priest.
honestly, just the fact that like there's the possibility of getting a 300 point model out of it, and you get a unit that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Like that seems real good.
And like those Teal of Dooms we don't high on, but like they could mean something.
Yeah,
Like you roll the dice with this army for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, so I like it. I'm happy with this change.
yeah. I like that change a lot. Though it's like it's more reliable to get the Vermin Lord. So
Yeah.
like if you're running this, like you want to have a like. I feel like before it was like a, oh, it's like, is it even worth having the Vermin Lord with me? Like it's like this is never gonna happen. But you like did, but it like never happened, and
I got
then
it to happen one time in my life.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And you're like, oh my god, look, it happened, and it's very exciting, and that's great.
Yeah.
And you remember that one time, and it's exciting. But like,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you rather like be able to use the model that you bought and brought just because this guy exists?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, I think we're both very positive on this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
definitely.
it.
Yep.
All right, now we're talking about Sylvaneth. So Lady of Vines here is, I think, 340 points? 10 wounds, 8 move, 3 up save, 10 bravery. Nice. So interestingly enough, she was like a huge character in the Realm Gate War.
Just
And
never had a model.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think it's really cool that they did that. And
Yeah.
if you read like the description, it's like the Lady of Vines is literally the hand of Alariel cut from the goddess's wrist and then grown into
Oh,
a flowering war leader. Yeah.
interesting.
So if you
Okay.
look at the Alariel model, I never noticed this until I read this. But like she has like a monster hand that's not like an elven human hand.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and it's like
Is
all
it
the
like the
tree branch.
replacement or whatever?
Is it what?
It's like a replacement for her actual hand or whatever?
Yeah. And you know she has the rule we'll get to her later, but she has a rule called Talent of Dwindling, and that must be what it is.
Yeah.
Is her like cut off hand.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So that's a little lore aside. But yeah, I think
Cool
that's
little
cool.
lore stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like little cool. Okay. I like little cool lore bits as long as they're not like they don't
Writing
affect the
rules.
rules a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't affect rules with them too
Mm-hmm.
much anyway.
Yeah, but like getting a bonus attack because of a lore thing is fine. But yeah, it depends on the rule, right?
Yeah, it as long as it's not like the Night Haunt um Stormcast rules of second edition where it's like
Oh yeah.
do D3, but if it's Night Haunt, do 3 or random shit
Yeah.
like that.
Exactly, I agree. Just like universally usable rule that like fits the lore is much better.
Yeah, definitely. And like try not to make it too complicated for no reason. Like that's the other kind of ones I don't like, where it's like, oh, like
If it's 2
I
o'clock on a
can't even-
Thursday and the sun's
yeah,
out,
exactly. Yeah,
and it's not raining.
yeah.
But yeah, so let's see
But if it's just like, yeah, if it's just like, oh, they get an extra attack because they, you know, because their new hand grew back and it's more powerful than before, so they have,
yeah,
that's why they have 6 attacks and not 5. It's like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
fine. Yep.
Still one number.
Mm-hmm. So she's got like an 18-inch shooting attack, 1, 2, 2, -1 d6. All right, that might do some damage. That's not why you're bringing her anyway. She's okay in melee. She's got 7 attack. I don't know why they did this, but she's got 3 attacks that are threes -1 d3, and 4 attacks that are threes -1 2. Just give me 7.
Yeah, please
Honestly,
just give me
yeah.
7 of the same ones. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what we were just talking about. How like
Yeah, we literally were just talking
yeah,
about this.
don't give like weird lore exceptions for whatever.
Yeah.
And someone's just gonna be like, "You guys are
written...
assholes." And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess. Right?
No, but I think it's a fair assessment because it's like, why am I like having to roll like anything to speed the game up with like just like roll 7 dice, and it's all the same across the board would have been great.
Yeah. But yeah, 7 attacks that are like she could do 14 damage. Like that's pretty charming. Not gonna lie.
But it's more likely to do about half that much or so.
Yeah.
So, on average, about 7 damage.
Which
right?
Cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's before saves, but
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe like
4.5.
Yeah, something like that.
It's respectable, right?
It's okay.
Like if there's allegiance abilities that do other things or whatever, yeah. So she's a War Master, which I always like that rule. 18-inch commands, and then like the cool little interactions with being a War Master.
Oh, that's the you
Always
are the general. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I like those too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's a wizard. She can cast 2 spells.
Pretty sweet.
Sylvaneth within 6 inches of her, treat her as an awakened wildwood.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Which I love that rule, to be honest, because like putting the trees down anywhere is like a problem. And I'm pretty sure it's going to stay somewhat the same. Is you can teleport between wildwoods, so people can just teleport to her.
Wait. They can't teleport to her, can they?
Why not?
Because if what you just said, units within how far can treat her as a wildwood?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, within 6.
Yeah. Oh, and that just makes it. Oh, that makes it feel bad because it's like, oh, she's a wildwood. That's cool, but it's like it's actually only teleporting away.
Yeah. Maybe
and whatever other rules they get, but
yeah, I guess
like if it's like I don't know.
I guess we have to see what the rules are, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that could potentially be huge.
I wonder if they'll get rid of the teleport.
We'll talk about why I don't think so in another War Scroll.
Okay.
But
cool.
Yeah, let's see. Let's finish her up. So she has this rule at the start of the combat phase. If she's within 3 inches of an enemy unit, you can either put a protective barrier or ensnare. And if you put a protective barrier, subtract 1 from hit rolls that target her until the end of the phase. And if you ensnare, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this unit until the end of the phase. So she has like a defensive or aggressive buff based on what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And so like her 3 up to hit on all of her things become 2 up is actually pretty big. Or if you want her to survive a little better, I think that helps a lot. -1 to hit's pretty reasonable, pretty good.
I feel like -1 to hit is always a nice thing to have.
Yeah. Cancels their all-out attack.
Yeah. And or just, maybe it's very possible that they can't use it there, so
yeah.
Actually just having -1 is nice.
Mm-hmm. And like in Night Haunt, it's been proving to be very good for survivability.
Right. I imagine so.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of that rule. And like that one's cool because it's utility, right?
Right.
And like interaction is always fun. Let's see. Next one. Once per battle, if this unit is on the battlefield at the end of your movement phase, no shit. It's on the battlefield. Otherwise I can't use it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that kind of stuff, yeah. You could say it will call forth allies. So on a 2-up, you get a unit of dryads. Or a unit of 10 dryads. Must be set up more than 9 from enemy units and wholly within 9 of an overgrown terrain feature or awakened wildwood in your army. So,
Wait, does she not count for herself?
I guess not.
Oh, that's weird. That works very counter to how I would think.
Wait a second. She's a friendly Sylvaneth unit within 6 inches of herself.
Oh, whoa. I missed that bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, never mind. No problem.
Yeah, so she can summon next to herself too.
Yeah, okay.
But there's the implication here of an overgrown scenery piece or a wildwood. So,
Yeah.
one of the biggest problems a lot of people had with Sylvaneth was how many freaking trees you had to buy and like
Yeah.
carrying them around. So, people think that this is a hint that one of the rule abilities will be able to turn other pieces of terrain already on the table into overgrown, and then you get to use your Sylvaneth abilities based on overgrown.
That would be
Instead of
very
just
cool.
yeah, like it would be not that different because like remember like when Vinny did play for like 4 minutes, like one of his huge complaints was like I can't put this shit anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the Wildwoods if you really want to make it, or you could just use terrain that's already there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the change they're going for here. I think that, and among other things, heavily imply that.
I really hope that's what it is. I fear that they're like, oh, you guys use the scenery rules, right? Yeah, anytime you get an overgrown, it's that's what we meant.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say put a pin in that, and then there's something we're gonna talk about later
Okay,
that I think is gonna put those fears to rest.
that's good.
Yep. But I don't know why this just doesn't work because it's once per game. Why has it got to be a 2-up? But
Oh, I
whatever.
meant to say that about the yeah, about the bell being able to just like you're
Kill
rolling
itself.
anyway, and
Yeah.
and there's like a chance it just blows up completely on a one. It's like, can we not do that, please?
Skaven's the
Like,
one
just make
army
it
where
work.
I accept it
I
because
know,
like
but
you're
like,
summoning a thing that could be twice its points value, right?
yeah, but you're still summoning it 5 out of 6 times,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. Like at that point, you just want it to
Mm-hmm.
work. If you did all the work to make it good, just let it work.
Yeah, I personally agree, but
Yeah,
I think
it's
there's people who
it's
think there's an allure of it blowing up and killing itself is hilarious and fun.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But like I don't want this to keep being a thing we're seeing more and more, you know?
Yeah,
Like Ruler of the Spirit Host, for example.
there seems to be a lot of things that are just like roll a die
Lately,
on a
yeah.
one, nothing happens. Otherwise, roll more dice
Yep.
on a value, something happens.
Mm-hmm. Our spike is
Anyway,
showing, I guess, yeah.
yeah, very much. All right, not for us. Moving on.
Yeah. And then her last thing is her unique spell, which I think she plagiarized from another army here. But
Oh boy.
casting value 7, range of 12, and Sylvaneth wholly within 12 of her get a 5-up board.
Oh,
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't sound plagiarized. It says Sylvaneth units.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying it's a lot like Teclis's spell,
Yes, 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 it is.
even though like he just gets it and she has to
Yeah,
roll well. But she's only like 300 points and like she does a lot.
yeah, it seems like it.
Like I would be very excited to run her in a lot of things. Like she seems like she does so much.
I certainly don't disagree with you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall 5 out of 7.
5 out of 7.
Do you know that meme at all? Or...
Oh, I feel like I do and don't at the same time.
Oh,
I feel like I've seen it, but don't know what it's from.
there's somebody who like was like clearly bullying one of their Facebook friends, and they're like, "I just saw Fight Club for the first time. It's a perfect 5 out of 7," and they just clearly made a typo, and then they just didn't let him live it down.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
perfect 5 out of 7.
perfect 5 out of 7. All right, Spirit of Durthu. He went up quite a bit. So.
All right, hang on a second. Hang on a second. How do you typo 5 out of 7?
I don't know. What do you want me to do about it? It happens. I've made way dumber typos in my life, you know?
Oh. Okay, this might be a blast from the past. I don't know, or maybe you just never seen this at all. But do you know Have you ever seen XKCD comics and stuff?
I've seen them. I haven't seen all of them.
Okay. Well, there's one. It's really old at this point. It's got to be what,
Mm-hmm.
like I think I saw it in college. And without spoiling how old I am, that was many moons ago at this point.
Sure.
But it
You're
was
46. Just move on.
I'm not 46. That
I
was
know.
rude, Alex. Jeez. But it's this comic about a about someone that just like clearly just mashed on the keyboard on like home row, right? But
Uh-huh.
there's like a random 4 in there. It's like, wait, no, hang on. How'd that 4 get there? It's like, what do you mean? It's like, how did you type a 4? You were just mashing the keyboard and you hit a 4. How did you do that? And they're like, I don't know. It's like, what do you why is this important? It's like, I think you're a spider. I think you're a giant spider that just did that, and it just like cuts to them being like exactly that.
That's funny.
It's the funniest
Dude,
shit.
those are so good. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Super distracted there.
Yeah, I don't know why I could never remember what those comic strips are called. XKCD, but I always get like
XKCD.
yeah, the wrong letter combination and I can never
Oh
find them,
yeah. I mean,
which
I'm
is embarrassing, but
surprised.
whatever.
I surprised I remembered if I were being honest.
Yeah,
It's
and
been a long
like
time
we
since I
cut to the
looked at
YouTube
those.
comics and it's like something completely different,
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Spirited Dirthy went up a healthy 50 points.
Ooh.
So
Hopefully,
he
got 50 points worth of
is
buffs.
375. So the first thing is different is he's got 2 more wounds,
Okay.
but otherwise that profile is very much the same. All right, let's see. His shooting attack is, I think, the same. His guardian sword is the same, and it brackets still the same dumb way. And his mastering of
Um,
impaling talons don't do mortal wounds on 6s anymore, but are just 2s that bracket -2 3 damage. So I think I
oh, they
value
bracket in
that.
the dumb way. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it does bracket in the dumb way
Yeah.
that we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but like I think I value the just the good weapon profile over a shitty one that does something if you get a hit to 6, you know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
the impaling talons you're talking about.
Yep. So I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of that.
I
The
agree.
other change I'm a big fan of too is remember he used to bracket after he took 3 damage?
Oh my
Now he
god, did
takes
he really?
7. Yep. So he's a
That's
lot harder to
way
bracket.
better.
Yep.
Are you
So
telling me that the first thing was 0 to 2?
yes.
Oh my god, that's
Aren't the
abysmal.
Cygors and Gorgons like that too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I actually don't think they're that bad. They might get like 0 to 3 even.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of the Sylvaneth stuff was 0 to 2.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I just remember too, like we're fighting Vinny, and I did like a little chip damage to that. And he's like, "Oh, cool, my 6 went to D6, great."
Yep.
But this could have been like 6 5 4 3 very easily, in my opinion.
Yeah, that would have been way better.
Yeah,
It still has an effect, but not like such a drastic one.
yeah. But like I think
They,
the go ahead.
they're probably thinking it's like, well, it still could do 6. It's like it could be nothing at all, and it's like, and that's where the interesting bit is there. I just
Yeah,
personally don't find it interesting.
yeah. I don't either. But yeah, even if it was like 6 4 3 2, right? Like I'd been fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, I would have preferred
Hmm.
that for sure.
But yeah, so his damage is slightly better, I would say overall.
Mhm.
So remember the Sylvaneth stomp that was like on a 4-up and you make the thing fight last?
Yeah.
So now it's on a 3-up, but it's a monstrous action.
Okay.
I think I like that better. I don't know if it's stronger. It's probably weaker because you can't just like do that on a mass now, but
Right.
I like that it's a little more consistent.
Yeah, at least it uses the game mechanics that
Yeah.
they have introduced. So instead of making it like some special snowflake
Yeah.
type of ability. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
I'm good
that
with that.
overall, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like a
I
little
think
more
even if it's
consistent, which is nice.
yeah, even if it's weaker, I feel like it's like a good design choice.
I think it's actually stronger if you're only bringing one.
Right, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you said it went from 4s to 3s.
Yep.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I like that. All right. And then the last rule I got, or I guess I got 2 more. So spirit paths. the start of your movement phase, if this unit is wholly within 6 inches of an overgrown terrain feature or awakened wildwood in your army, it can walk the spirit paths instead of making a move in that phase. So it can teleport within 6 of it. So that used to just be awakened wildwood, so that's another piece of the puzzle that makes me think that you're going to be able to just make overgrown terrain everywhere,
Yeah.
which would be sweet.
Well, they might have been just trying to be consistent there too.
Sure.
I mean, I really hope that you are correct.
Yeah.
And that you can make overgrown. I think that's a better mechanic than like being like you can summon another awakened wildwood, in which like you just so hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, I think that would be really good if that's what they did.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Like
You're
I
right.
bet so much money on it.
Go ahead.
All right. Do you want to?
Me?
Do you want to bet against me?
No.
Okay,
not
fine.
me. Go make your money elsewhere.
All right, fine. And then
sure, Vegas has odds for that, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And the last rule it has is a Wrathful Guardian, which if it's within 9 inches of an overgrown terrain or awakened wildwood, you add 1 to the attack characteristic of its 6 damage sword. So, what this used to be was if you were within 6 inches, or wholly within 6 inches of a awakened wildwood, you add 2 to it.
Oh, now you only get 1, but it's a little more generous on the distance.
On the distance and the type of thing that you can do it with. But like, I guess with like the harder to like bracket to D6, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it makes it a little more consistent overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
And like, if this is like on the entourage with like the Lady of Vines, like is always getting it.
That's true. That's true. Ooh, that's an interesting bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm not convinced it's 50 points better.
No.
I think it is better, though.
But, I mean, also keep in mind, like, well, A, probably not the final war scroll or points.
Exactly.
And B, like, we don't really know, like, it might get some super buffs in, like, one of the sub-factions or something, or the new Allegiance abilities and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and, like, I just wonder how much more damage the Impaling Talons are over the old form, too, you know?
Right, yeah.
Like, that could just... Because I don't actually know.
So what are the two profiles?
So the sword...
Like, what was the old one?
Oh, the old one... I don't actually remember.
Okay. No big deal.
My phone's in my pocket. I can look. I think it was just, like, 3s, 4s, no rend 1 damage, 6s are D3 mortal wounds. But, yeah, I'm very curious now, actually.
3/4s no rend 1 damage?
Yeah.
But 6s to hit are D3 mortal wounds?
It might even been 6s to wound, which doesn't super matter.
No, actually, that does matter quite a bit. It decreases it, like, at least 2/3, I guess. Alright,
it was 3s, and then it bracketed the same way. -2, 1 damage. And 6s to hit are D6 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends.
Or wait, how many mortal wounds did you say?
D6? Yeah.
Ooh, okay. That makes it very hard to... I think this is still better.
Well, it was 1 attack before, and now it's 2.
Oh, it's way better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that changed. Yeah, I also just like you just read the profile and do it. It's cleaner.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah. Although I don't hate like the 6s doing extra.
Not at all.
Although I do like it when the 6s are mortals equal to the
damage characteristic.
Equal to the damage characteristic, yeah. Because it makes it easier to follow.
And honestly,
and, like, it's not like a search for a hunt for a special rule type of thing. Yeah,
I don't mind the 6s do an extra thing. Especially if like that's the unit's role. But that just seemed like an auxiliary thing, too. So
that's true.
In a better designed world, it wouldn't be there unless that was like the entire point of the unit.
Right. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that change. Yep. But yeah, again, we don't know if these are final points or even final war scrolls at all, so I don't want to pass judgment too harshly or anything.
I mean, I think we can say they're probably close, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think anything's changed too drastically, right? It's
No.
just been like maybe a meta word here or there that might be important, but like we get the
Or like a
general
save
gist still.
characteristic.
Was there one that changed save characteristic?
There's 2 in the Nighthawk.
Oh my god.
Yep.
All right. Oh yeah. Crossbows and
Spirit Torment. Not Spirit
right.
Torment, the Chain Gas.
Yeah.
The Entourage, yeah. And then points
Wild.
also change too. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's right. Yep.
And
We'll
Battle
see.
Tome's gonna change. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's like very close to what it was, even if it is slightly worse at its points comparison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it though.
I mean, how many times have we been like, oh man, this guy got a nerf, he's unplayable, only to see the book and go, oh, that's why.
Yep.
Yeah. So
The entire Fire Slayers range.
right, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pass judgment on that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun to talk about
Oh, of
for
course.
sure. Yeah. See, Gossamed Archers. I think these are good, but I think these are good for exactly 1 unit. And we'll see if you agree or disagree. So,
All right. What makes them good for only 1 unit? I'm curious.
all right, we'll get there. I don't want to
Okay,
bury
we'll
the
get
lead
there.
here.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So it's 2 wounds each, 5 up save, 12-inch move, 6 bravery. I think they're 205 or 215 points, something along that line. Let's see. Champion adds 1 to the bow's attack characteristic. It can fly. And yeah, so it's got 2 attacks each, so 11 for the unit. 3's 3's no rend, 1 damage. And the melee is 2 attacks, 3's 4's no rend, 1 damage. But on the bow, 6s to hit are D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Yeah.
so much damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're probably doing an average of like 4 or 5 mortal wounds. Or like 3 mortal wounds on each shoot, which is pretty good. But I think like they're
Yeah,
pretty
it's
expensive for their
alright.
wound profile. And they have like the
Yes,
spread out
definitely.
coherency thing that like a lot of the flying units have been getting lately. Which is very nice.
Yeah. They have big wings.
Yeah.
They need the extra space. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope the dragonflies get that too.
Yep.
And
I
then
bet they will.
yeah. And then so it has this special rule too, called Zephyr Sprites. So after they use Unleash Hell, if there's an enemy unit within 3 inches of them, on 2 up they can retreat. Right there.
That's pretty crazy.
So that's the two reasons why I think these are like a 1 of in your list. Is because you can only use Unleash Hell once so far.
Okay.
For all we know. And their wound to point ratio is way off kilter, you know?
Yeah.
Like, things can sneeze at this and the unit dies, right?
Right. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
But do you run this in like a... Oh, it's only a 12-inch range, too. Ugh.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you run this as like a unit of 10?
Yeah, I could absolutely see that, too.
Yeah. Try to do like just piles of mortal wounds on shooting. And then, they charge, you unleash hell, do piles more mortal wounds on shooting, and then retreat, most likely.
Yeah.
Get away. That actually seems... That could be like a serious amount of damage, actually.
So then you're at 410 or 430 points. So, like,
Yeah,
that's
that
a
is a lot
build
of
around, right?
Yeah, it feels like it.
That seems good enough, though, to justify.
It certainly might be. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like the idea of MSUing this thing because of the runaway only works if you use the command ability. But maybe there's ways to do it multiple times, too. Or maybe that's like a sub-faction thing.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Like you can unleash hell with as many as you want or something.
Yeah.
Is that healthy for the game? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not.
It might be healthy on the game where this is your best shooting unit.
Sure.
But yeah. I don't know. That's something that is going to change with the book for sure. But I'd be very excited to run exactly one of these, to the point where I think I always would run exactly one of these. And maybe reinforce it, right?
Yep.
But yeah, overall, I'm very pleased with this. But I really want to know what those grasshoppers do.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I like the look of these guys more than the grasshoppers.
Oh, do you
But I
really?
think you're the other way. Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah, I
sure.
do.
Yeah. I mean, I like both of them, and I really like the Lady of Vines.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know how I feel about like monster casters.
Yes.
Yeah. Overall, though,
Monster casters are your thing.
yeah. So that's the end of the Echoes of Doom, and then we have like some leaks that I want to talk about after too. But overall, like, I think it's hilarious that the Sylvaneth are getting like, I think like 400 extra points worth of models over the Skaven.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that makes me think that the missions in there are all going to be like infinitely reinforcing, like Skaven. But like I
Yeah,
think
we'll see.
as far as the kit values go, I think it's pretty equal. But it's so funny, like the points discrepancies. Like my men need a little help here. But yeah. Oh well.
Wait, who are your men? If I did remember right, you own both.
I own both, yeah. But I was talking about the Skaven in this exact context, you know?
I thought maybe.
Yeah. I think I played more Skaven than Sylvaneth.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I think you're more excited about Skaven than Sylvaneth.
I was until I saw the grasshoppers.
Well, that's
To be
fair. That's
honest,
fair.
yeah. I really, really like the new Sylvaneth sculpts. And like that's the
Yeah,
exact kind of thing they needed. Because like the army was like slow or teleport. And
right.
they just really needed this like mid range speed thing to like keep up with the rest of the army.
Yep.
So like I know Skaven need a new sculpts, but like I think Sylvaneth need that for like their army to be what they want it to be.
Right.
So I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, it's like they just like forgot to give them cavalry, and then they were like, "Oh, hang on, we should give them cavalry,"
Yeah,
and they did. Yeah.
and then all is well for them.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the Slaves of Darkness leaks at the end. Oh wait, we have Kurnoth Hunters to do first. Silly me.
Oh, silly you.
All right,
All
so
right.
these went up
How
30
we looking?
points. They were 225 and now they're 255. They used to have like a rule where like they can choose to not pile in, and if they don't, they get +1 save. Now they just have a 3 up. Great change.
Pretty sweet.
The bows are exactly the same, except for their 2 damage instead of D3, which I like much better.
Yeah, me too.
Um, so they used to have a command ability that basically, if a hero used a command ability, they used to have a passive ability that if a hero used a command ability, these guys would treat units as if they're in range of that hero.
Wi-Fi extender.
Yep. And so that ability's gone. So people are saying, "Oh, Kurnoth are unusable now." But I just want to remind you that like War Scroll unique command abilities are going away all over the place. So it's
Right.
probably not a bad change actually,
And also, like,
especially aura ones, right?
we should have. We should know by now to not judge these units based on this random thing before we see the book.
Yep.
Unusable is
Hard.
just no.
Maybe right now it's harder
Maybe.
to justify them, but
Maybe.
I think these things got good because I think their new ability is actually going to be better once like it's played a while.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's the same name, but if a Sylvaneth hero issues all-out attack or all-out defense, this unit can pick a Sylvaneth within 6 inches and on a 4-up copy it. And they can receive the command even if they already received a command in that phase. So
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
on a
even.
4-up copy it, right? But like I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of lists that have like 4 or 5 units of Kurnoths too. And you get to roll for each one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Seems pretty sweet.
yeah, you could put it on a unit that already got the order too, right? Is what it says. So I'm just picturing like this might be Dreamland, but like you have a unit of 30 Dryads, and you have like 3 of these units of archers behind them. You issue all out defense on them, and then you roll 4 dice, and you can, in a magical Christmas land, give it all out defense 4 times.
And just like negate all rend ever that would be going into
Yeah.
him. I mean,
So,
oh, actually, is is a rule specifically that a unit cannot receive more than one command a phase, so you wouldn't be able to do that?
On a 4-up, that unit also receives this command, even if they have already received a command in that phase.
Oh my god.
So
Okay.
the core rule, yeah, but like this is an exception to that.
Yeah, there's an exception. I missed that bit.
Yep.
Even if they had already received a command that phase. Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you
Yeah,
literally
sure.
could just save stack on one unit.
Yeah, it sure feels like it.
Yeah, or even spread out. Like that's good too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's good. And like the +1 save like can be on a 2-up save naturally. Like that's
Yeah, I was
great.
gonna say, but they can also just give it to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah.
Like it's like you get a +1 to save, and also, oh, maybe the Colonel has to do too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, they did. Now they're 2 up. Good
Those
luck.
those shields look sweet, by the way.
Which ones?
The ones that you're painting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I just got distracted. And then this is a rule that you're probably gonna say could have gone. But so at the end of the combat phase, they for each model in this unit, you roll a die, and on a 4-up does 1 mortal wound to an enemy unit. So like,
Yep.
okay, yep,
Okay.
yeah, very bad
Yeah, it's a
evocator.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I don't know how the melee weapons are changing because they only gave us the bow ones. But I'm honestly excited for that command ability. I think there's so much you can do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting that they only gave the bow command. I'm actually surprised they gave the bow one and not like one of the other ones, considering like they already put bows in the box.
yeah, isn't that a little weird? Yeah,
It's very weird to
hmm.
me. Yeah.
I don't hate it, but yeah, I just would have liked to see them all.
Yeah. Or I guess I just would have expected to see a different one because they already had the bows in the box.
Yeah,
Like even beyond like wanting to see them all.
I think Loon Curse gave us all 3, didn't it?
Um, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it did. Because I think
Yeah.
like it blew our minds or everyone's minds when like there were different units instead of just one, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that.
Maybe they just did that just to be like, see, guys, we didn't get rid of the other ones, right? We
I
just
mean, I
separated the War
guess.
Scroll because like if they just put one of the War Scrolls out with one of the weapons, and then people would be like, they got rid of them, no.
Oh, like if they put out just like the swords or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, what happened to the bow and the sides?
Yeah, and clearly the bows aren't the only ones available, so
Yeah.
clearly they did do that there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, I'm excited to see if I'm right about this. But like, I think people are judging these way too harshly, and I know going up in points kind of sucks, but
So what was the other ability?
so
That
the reason why the other ability was like so good was because if so basically if a yeah if I think if your general used a command ability, it treated everything within range of the Kurnoth hunters as in within range of the general, and you can make the
oh,
tree
see,
lord ancient your general, and he used his command ability, which was a +1 save bubble. So it was a bubble around him
oh,
and these
okay.
Kurnoths, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which obviously is very good.
Yes, yes.
But
Understood.
but again, like that's probably going away.
Yeah, I don't expect that to stay.
Yeah, like those kinds
So
of
this
abilities have been
probably is
disappearing.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like that particular interaction is probably stronger than like what I said, like the chance of it. But you know what? Like it's gonna be an entirely different book, and it's way too early to judge just the War
Yeah,
Scrolls on their own, right?
exactly.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm very curious if I'm right or wrong about that.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Now we're going into new spoilers.
All
So,
right, let's go.
all right. We'll start with the Sylvaneth one we have, which is Alariel. She is mostly the same. Same wound, same save. Her melee is a little bit better, and her ranged is very slightly better. But it's still just the one attack. But, yeah, so she does a little bit more damage. Her move is so she also has like the smaller bracket, so she doesn't bracket until she takes 7 damage instead of 3. So that's pretty big
Very
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So she's a war master. She's a wizard with 3 spells, and she got in Broken Realms Alariel that she knows all the spells from the lore of Vines, which is the Sylvaneth one. So she probably still has that. That was also in Gods and Monsters update too.
Was that on the war scroll?
It was on the War Scroll, and then in Gods and Monsters they moved it to Allegiance abilities. Because if it was on
Oh,
the Worn
interesting.
Scroll, it means that you could take her in cities, and then that she would have all of these spells in cities,
Ah,
and they didn't want
I
that.
see.
Yep.
No, understood.
Yeah. So
That's
they.
understandable. Yep.
So I bet just like when you go to the spells, it says Alariel knows all of these, and like
Yeah,
maybe Lady of
almost
Vines or
certainly.
something. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And the other guy, right?
Lady of Vines.
No. The one that we got last time with Sylvaneth in the Broken Realms, I think.
Oh,
The guy
Warsong.
that
Warsong
yeah,
Revenant. Yep,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Dude, he's awesome. I still love him. Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't played him yet, actually, because I haven't played Sylvaneth, but I hope he stays
He does.
relatively the same.
Yep. He seems really cool.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. So she still has the same Life Bloom thing where she heals 2d6 every turn, and she does the aura of heal d3 for everybody within 30 inches. Just healing, no returning of slain models, but that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
She can retreat, shoot, and charge. I think she always had that, but when she's like a little stronger and she flies, like that's pretty cool. Her base might be too big to super utilize the retreat and charge, especially in the way of like I say to do it all the time, where you like charge into your enemy shit, like deep into their lines, because you probably don't have the space to fit there. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like she's fast, so that's cool.
Yep.
Then her summoning pool was changed a little bit. It has all of the same old options, right? And it added a unit of 5 Gossamed archers, a unit of 3 of the lancers, and a 3 of the I forget what they're called. It looks like Shredder there, but it's very hard to read this. But yeah, so the grasshoppers you can summon too, in addition to a Gossamed
That
archer unit.
that's pretty cool.
Yep. So that makes me think that those are going to be around 200 points too.
Yeah, I would guess. I would have
Yep.
been surprised if they were much different than that.
Mm-hmm. The thing that she lost that was kind of big was she had a command ability that was an aura of reroll ones to wound, but we knew that was going because they were getting rid of rerolls everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly my point about the Kurnoth Hunter thing, because they used
Yeah,
to
I mean,
spread that command ability too, you know.
yeah,
So those are going. If the god lost it, the Tree Lord's losing it.
for
Let's
sure.
let's not kid ourselves. Yep.
Yeah.
What else? So, and then instead she has a monstrous action that just turns a terrain piece into overgrown.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Like maybe other things will have that or other ways of doing that, but like guaranteed by herself, she just does that.
Yeah.
And like
I
that,
bet you that the Tree Lord Ancient had an ability to change stuff or to summon Wildwoods, right?
yep.
I bet you that's gonna just become like make overgrown.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I think that's a good change
I
for
think so
sure.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the same kind of thing, speeds up the game
Yep.
for sure. Yeah.
And surprisingly, like means you don't have to buy as many Wildwoods, which is
Yeah.
good
Mm-hmm.
and surprising for GW to do that, I guess.
Well, I guess if like
But
the army was faltering because of it, right? It makes a lot of sense.
yeah, but like they couldn't actually utilize it, and so it was like
Mm-hmm.
it just feels bad all around,
Yeah,
and
and
they
I
weren't
guess
selling them anyway.
yeah, and I think like the trees. So like, there's going to be the argument too of like, well, I bought all these trees. I'm like, they're still very good like generic terrain.
Oh yeah, and there probably still is way of summoning them. It's probably gonna be like summon Awakened Wildwood or make terrain overgrowth or something.
Yeah, exactly. And just like the fact that like there's times where you just couldn't put your trees down anywhere.
Yeah, now it's
was
a different option.
yeah, so
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah, I like that change.
Yeah, her spell is the same and her talent of dwindling is the same, so I haven't seen her points yet. But I
Okay,
imagine she's staying the same. And she's got like a
or
little bit
roughly
more melee
anyway. Yeah,
damage. Yeah. She lost her reroll wounds, but like whatever. I think that's fine.
yeah.
And
Was it
she
reroll all wounds, or was it just reroll wounds of one?
of one.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it
Yeah.
was the weaker version too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we don't need that anymore.
Yep.
Especially if the
Get
rest of the
it out
damage
of
gets
here.
like better damage too.
Right.
I would just rather see that.
Yep.
Yeah, but overall, like she saw Fringe play and she'll see Fringe play still.
Yeah. Or maybe a lot of play. I mean,
Yeah,
the book might change her a lot.
exactly. Yeah, the lore might be insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But like she's good enough, right? She
I think
didn't really
so.
need to change a ton, I don't think, but I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Overall, like
And
I
it's
think go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, and like if her support pieces, like if she's fringe playable now, and like her support pieces aren't super good, but they get a lot better, like that also might have an effect on how much she gets played too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe she has like perfect units to go alongside her now.
I oh yeah, actually that's a really good point. And like we don't know what these like other things she summons do too, right? And
Exactly.
like if those
Yep.
are like really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the Gosmids are good too. And we're like, I don't think there's a reason that you would take like multiple of these. But like sure you take one and then you summon one. Sure.
Yeah.
I
Right.
absolutely could see that. All right. I think that's good. And then we had like a shit ton of like pictures from Slaves to Darkness leak a while ago. I know we're very behind on this one,
Oh yeah, super behind.
but I still
We
want to
we
like
we
talk
struggled
about
for a
them.
week.
Yeah.
Weeks. Okay, I struggled for a couple weeks. That's beside the
Mhm. Yeah, but yeah, let's jump into those for a little bit, huh?
hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're starting with the Demon Prince, and I cut this up weird so that we can read it better. I think it's pretty much accepted right now that this thing kind of got hit with a nerf. But let's talk about it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it went up to 10 wounds from I think it was 8 before. Do you remember?
Um, 8 sounds right.
Yeah, but 10 is the worst place to be here because then you don't get a all out or look out, sir, the -1 to hit in the shooting phase.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which whatever. It sucks, but I think the things that were able to shoot it dead before are still gonna be able to shoot it dead.
Yeah. Like yeah, it wasn't the -1 to hit wasn't what was killing it.
Yeah,
Or not killing it, rather.
exactly. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but it's not like a deal breaker.
Right.
I would say. Yep. What else? So you can choose the axe, the talons, or the sword. And so the talons have no rend but 8 attacks. The axe has rend 2, 5 attacks, and they're the same otherwise. Or you can get the sword that's 5 attacks with 1 less to wound, 1 less rend, and D3 damage. Ugh. But on 6s to hit, it's D3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends.
Right, yeah.
What do you
Yeah, the demon weapons have always had something like that.
what weapon do you like here?
I remember liking the axe.
I think I'd rather the axe too. I just think rend is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd always take the axe. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think that keeps it easier also.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very easy to remember that profile. So I think there is something to be said about like just like even if something's like mildly better but it's harder to remember exactly what it does.
Yeah.
Like it's if there's some equivalent like almost equivalent option like that's just super easy to remember like there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, especially if like it's not your main army too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So like probably just go with the X because that's a super simple profile, easy to remember, looks really good. Like
Yeah.
just yeah,
Besides, the axes look sweet too.
exactly.
Yep. And so I think we're a little bit of different minds on this, but so it can either have wings or a trophy rack. And the wings make it
Mhm.
fly and move faster, which is obviously good. And the
Yeah.
trophy rack is so units do not take battle shock wholly within 9 of this unit, and if it killed something, if it killed a hero or a monster, it's 12 inches. And so you're not big on the trophy rack, and I totally get it.
Yeah,
I think there's some
that's
armies
definitely
where it's
true.
important, but I think there's a lot of armies where it's not at all important.
Yeah, it's like there's just like so many games where that could just have like do absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Like either and even if it does something, you have to be like, well, did I use inspiring presence this turn and did I have command point?
yeah.
And you have to think that, and if so, then it still did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of one of those like
I just
I'm
my
not sure
yeah.
how often it's gonna like have be a big deal compared to the extra movement, which is just obviously just a straight buff you use literally every turn.
So I want to
Okay,
start out by
not true.
saying too that I like that they at least tried to give the not wing version a special rule.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
no, no, no. I
Yeah,
agree.
we agree
But
on
like when I
that
first
for
saw it,
sure.
I was like, "Ooh, that actually like there's a reason to not have wings." And then I read it and was like, "Well, that's disappointing." But
So
at least they did it.
I don't think there's a reason for you, but I know there's a lot of people who play like the 70 splintered fang list or like the 90 marauder list, right?
Yeah. And
So
yeah, maybe that's
so like it's there for those people.
yeah.
If those
Yeah.
lists exist or not, I don't know. But like,
No, no, no. Well, I mean, like even if it's like not a super competitive list, it exists, right?
well, I mean,
People will
like
play it.
we don't know what the book's gonna bring them, right?
That's true.
So maybe it's not even a list, but it probably is. I could see the splintered fang knot one, just because of like it's relying on corn allies, and
Oh
then
yeah,
if
yeah.
corn changes, then that changes too.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that there's an option for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely like that there's an option as well.
Yeah,
It
but
was
yeah,
always weird. It's like you can give it wings. If you do, it gets faster.
yeah.
And you're like, and what does it do if you don't? Nothing.
Auto pass
Does it
revert.
cost
Yeah,
does it cost more points? Nope. Why wouldn't I give it wings? Because you didn't build them, I guess.
because you modeled it without wings because it was 40 points cheaper and 40k.
Yeah, exactly.
Is why. Yeah.
Get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But like just like the attempt there is like a big thumbs up to me.
Yep, agree.
It has a 6-up ward, which I don't think it had before, which is cool.
No, it did not,
Yep.
as far as I remember.
Mm-hmm. I just remember seeing like the blurry as hell picture of this. And I'm like, that might be a 4-up ward. That's gonna be huge. And it's a
I
6
do
up.
remember
Yeah.
that, and it was a six. I was like, oh, well, not as
Mm-hmm.
exciting.
Yeah. So
But
the
that's okay.
thing that it lost notably here in its passives was just strike first. So
Yeah.
that list that was 5 of these things, all dogpiling something with strike first is gonna not be everything, which
And
is
you know how
fine.
much I don't mind that? Like,
Oh yeah, of course.
that's fine.
Yeah, but
I
it
like
got
incentivizing, like, making more diverse lists rather than just being like, look I could spam this thing and it's super powerful, haha.
yeah, which I think is they're doing a great job with third edition, giving everything like their roles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
which
I
is
agree.
because there's like Night Haunt is like I don't feel like I ever spam because everything does its own unique thing that I
Right.
want.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're gonna get better and better at that. So I'm a big fan of that.
Hmm.
That being said, though, one thing that they never had before was like they used to have like unique command abilities, and now it's unique heroic actions,
Yep.
which I think is way cooler. But let's
And
talk about
also,
them.
it de-incentivizes spamming as well.
Yep, exactly. And like these are supposed to be like the one thing that came to Bauer and ruled your army. So like lore wise, spamming them is anti lore.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But like yeah, whatever. Let's see. So undivided, you can choose like one of the 4 gods or undivided. Undivided, the heroic action is strike first.
Woo.
Yeah. And this is like the obvious debuff here is in corn. But we're gonna talk about why we think it's still cool.
Yes.
So the corn one used to be like the bubble of half pile in, which we thought was like the least corn ability imaginable.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Like,
I know it's good, but like Korn wants to fight, and this thing said
y-
don't fight.
yeah, yeah. It, like
Yeah,
that ability was like the least corn thing possible, and it was like blood slick ground, so like it's hard to get to you because like there's so much blood everywhere. It's like, yeah, all right,
yeah,
great. Now, can we get back to the more blood of like my enemies instead
mm-hmm,
of just saying there's blood here?
yeah, and
And
yeah. So like the people who are gonna lament the loss of that tool, I get it. It sucks because it was very powerful.
yeah,
But ultimately, this is a narrative game, and we take it too seriously, you and I even. But the new ability is until the end of turn, each time a model is slain by this thing, you heal one wound.
yes,
Which,
more blood. Give
yeah,
me more blood for the blood gods. He will kill more.
I mean, those kind of rules are like actually just very good. And
Yeah,
like you, how many times have you fought my Soul Blight with like a Vengorian Lord, and he killed a thing, and then he heals only like D3, and you're like, oh
yeah,
my
and
god, I
it's just like
can't
I
move
can't
this
deal
thing.
with this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and like this is like that many. So this
Hmm.
might be a control piece still, just a very different kind of like you kind of have to be
Yes.
proactive with it. You charge things that can't really deal with it, and then you never lose it, and then they have to turn around and commit to it. I don't think it's all
Yeah.
bad, but like I think unfortunately like that rule like should exist somewhere in this army still, like the half charge rules,
Mm.
because like I think it's just like a huge loss for a lot of people to not have that. Maybe the book changes out very differently and you don't need it anymore, but I think a rule like that has a place in this game because there's like so many good Alpha Strike armies.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, and like if
But
it's in the spell
I'm
lore,
fine with
great.
that not being the corn demon prince.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But like
Yeah,
it feels like a lot less of a nerf if it's elsewhere, in my opinion, right?
that's true.
If it's like elsewhere on something similarly statted, it's not actually a nerf, it's just a different. That's it.
This is a different unit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. This one's my favorite is the Zinch one. So, if you use it in the enemy hero phase, you can roll a dice each time it's targeted by a spell, and on a 2-up it has no effect. Or if it's on your turn, you can attempt to cast one spell from the Lore of the Damned in the same manner as a wizard. So, I always talk about like there's like toolbox options in your like spell lores, and then you never get to use them because you're never going to pick them over like your auto take ones. And this
Yep.
guy
And
gets a
here it is.
different spell, yeah, every time he does it, right?
Yep.
And like I don't know what the spell lore for the new book's going to be, of course. So maybe all of that is just like they're all just various forms of damage and it's not that exciting anymore.
Well, probably not, right?
Yeah, probably
Like,
not. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know the spell lore for slaves though. Is there any toolboxy stuff or
If I remember right, there definitely is. Yeah.
yeah. I feel like there
I
is, but I
don't
don't know.
remember too well.
Yeah.
Well, do I remember it all? I think I was thinking of like Beast there for a second.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Oops.
I think the only time I've ever picked a spell is with Archeon,
And it was the 3 damage one.
and it was probably the 3 damage one.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mark corn on everything and say blood for the blood god and go.
Yeah, that's fair. But like the toolbox casting options there, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
You
Let's
know what's
see.
funny is before I started playing corn, like watching like random Warhammer stream, like the
Mm-hmm.
official ones or whatever. There's one guy that was always like super into corn, being like blood for the blood god, and I was like, it's like, why are you so into corn? I don't get it. And then I started playing corn, and I'm like, I totally get it. Blood for the blood god.
Yeah.
It's just like you shout that all the time, and that's all that matters.
Or it's like orc players shouting "wah" or
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard
Oh
it, but apparently in UK people go like only the faithful all the time for Hollow
yeah,
Knights.
yeah. Yep.
And that one seems a little like cringy, but whatever.
You know what? Whatever.
Yeah, have
As long
fun,
as
man.
everyone's having fun,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. But like I get like I love the idea of like just being so into the mantra of your own army.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Like Corn has that, orcs have that. I have that with Osiarch Bone Reapers. I don't know if the world has that though.
Wait, what?
I just love my Bone
The
Reapers
boat.
so much, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have anything that's fun to shout.
No, it's true.
Yeah,
Give me the bone tithe.
yeah, it doesn't do it
Yeah,
right.
it doesn't.
That
You're
was a
right.
good
I
attempt
tried
though.
my best there.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate it, but it's not a failure on you. It's a failure on the Bone Reapers.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
They're
two
just too
more.
mellow about everything.
I think that's what it is. They don't talk.
Yeah.
They're
Unless
like,
they're like playing weird version of chess or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
which was a cool story.
That was a cool story. I like that a lot.
But we got two more. So we got Nurgle, which is ward rolls cannot be made for enemy units while they're within 3 inches of this unit. And we talked about how we kind of thought the Dreadscythe Harridans were a trap with that faction because they don't have natural rend, but this guy does.
Right.
So maybe that's cool. Maybe that's a cool piece that you want.
Sure. It's definitely a meta call, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Like if that's like dominating, or
Mhm.
like if like a bunch of guys with 4-up wards are like so hard to shift, it's like, hey, I can shift them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Or like this thing, like if Lady O becomes like a very powerful piece, or like Celestant Prime, he's
Yep.
just like hello, and then he
Hi,
smacks them. Yeah.
I'm a demon prince.
So I think because this was all in the War Scroll too. So if you take them as a coalition unit in like the demon army, they get these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really neat. And then the last one,
I think I'm personally gonna have a lot of fun with these guys.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
Probably not this one though, the Slanesh one. So if it makes a charge move, add one to the attack characteristics. Like that's just so like nothing. I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's well, okay, so the interesting thing about these, like, because it's not like you're just picking one of these, right?
Yeah.
Because really you're picking
So the
an
Slanesh
army and you
passive
get
could
this
be
as an ability. Yeah,
insane.
so
Yeah.
like if you want to like run Slanesh, you're gonna have this ability available, so it like might see use. It's not like it's just like totally irrelevant text, right?
It's not ipsum lorem, but like if you're trying to do the thing where you're like mixing and matching and you want to pick the best ones, this is not it.
Correct,
Yeah.
for sure.
It depends on how the allegiance abilities line up. And like if the one for being your general is like insane for Slanesh, that's probably
Yeah,
good enough.
yeah.
Yeah. But overall, like I think 4 out of 5 of these are just like actual exciting build around stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's a very good rate.
Yeah.
And like I think
Well, not 4 out of 5. I'd say 3 out of 5.
which one don't you
I don't,
like?
I don't think. Well, no. It's not that I don't like it, but I don't think the Nurgle one you build around. I think that's a medical.
Oh, yeah, you're right, fair.
Yeah.
But I think there's people who are like, my only enemies are Daughters of Cain, Death, and Nurgle, and they play
Wait,
slaves.
are you talking about me in the past?
Yeah, I guess, right? But like, if we still played every weekend, you'd be like, wow.
Yeah,
Actually, I think I take a Nurgle Prince a lot.
actually, forget your ward saves.
Honestly, right?
I'm over it.
Yeah, like if Death
Yeah,
becomes a huge part of the meta, Nurgle does too,
yeah,
and like Daughters, if like those three army, like Night Haunt, Nurgle, and Daughters of Cain, if that's like what the meta turns into, this is like a shoe in.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
think.
for sure.
Yeah.
I find it funny that it would counter Nurgle, and it's the Nurgle one.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
kind of
he
weird.
knows best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, boy, I made you. He slaps him to the ground.
You were born to the, or you were initiated into the ward save. I was born to the ward save. Get out here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, like, I don't know what the points are on this, but it wasn't like the mid 200s before, right? Or low 200s.
It might have been 200. It was
Okay,
right around
yeah.
there, I think.
So
Yeah,
this is probably mid 200s, and it's probably very good at
yeah,
that.
I think so.
But one.
Yeah, you're probably only taking one of these.
Yeah. All right. Ogrid Theridons. Did you read these ones yet, Bill?
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't. It was a while ago though.
Yeah. So I just feel
But
like you'd be a very big fan of these.
yes,
So on the
I
surface,
remember liking them quite a lot.
they're just annihilators with more wounds and a shittier save.
Fine with
That's what
me.
people said. So 5 wounds, 5 up save, 6 inch move, 6 bravery. The banner adds 1 to charge, and the banner adds 1 to bravery, and the musician adds 1 to charge, and the leader has +1 attack. It's a unit of 3.
Hmm.
Um, so if you can take a sword and a shield or a great axe. So the shield gives you +1 save, but your damage is so much worse that you'll never do it because anything will be able to melt this anyway with a 4-up save, I think.
Yeah.
Anything reasonable. So you always take the two-handed weapons, unfortunately. Because that's 10 attacks. They're both 3s and 3s. But would you rather have -1, 2 damage or -2, 3 damage, right?
-2, 3 damage is
Yeah.
so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by this unit if any wound or mortal wounds were allocated to it earlier in the same phase. So that might be a little hard to do. But if any army has like a goad thing where it's like deal 1 damage to this unit, and then it gets pissed off and does a bonus. It's like this army, right?
Yeah.
So maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, or maybe like Lumineth have like a counter charge thing, right?
Um, they do, right?
I feel like yeah, the
I don't
spears like
remember.
if they get
I think they do.
charged, you do something, or even like unleash hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They also have a once per battle. When it's picked a fight, you'll unleash their savagery for +1 attack characteristics, and then they can't use inspiring presence in the same turn. But they're a unit of 3, so you'd use inspiring presence to save one of them because they're +1 bravery with the banner. But if you kill the banner, it would be back to 6. I think
You
they're gonna
just
be
don't kill
dead.
the banner, I guess.
Yeah,
So
right. I don't know.
I think you just do that. Like, if they kill 2 of them, it's probably worth saying, but you probably just want to do more damage instead.
Yeah, I think you
Probably
just
works
use
out
that in the
better.
first combat. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Overall, where would you point these? Because we don't know the points yet.
Oh, 5-up save does kind of suck, but that's a lot of damage.
I think if these were like 180, these would be everywhere.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Do you hate these at 220?
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I can point that accurately to go between those numbers.
Yeah. But like I think it's gonna be around there, right?
Yeah, it feels like it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall though, like they're really cool models. And I love
feel
the
like you
Chaos
can't
Ogres.
just. Yeah, I feel like you can't just slap like the Annihilator like 240 on them for sure. I think they need to be pretty significantly down because those guys are survivable too.
And they do like deep strike stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe 180 is right for them.
Yeah, it might be.
And they count for 2 on the objective, which is pretty big.
I really wouldn't hate like they be wound efficient. Well, my definition of wound efficient being like 10 points per wound.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have such garbage saves. But like
Yeah.
I feel like they do more damage than that, and so that wouldn't quite be where they should probably land. That feels like a little low.
Yeah. But honestly, like
Yeah, maybe 180.
I think 180, maybe 170.
Yeah,
So you think 150 is too cheap for that?
probably for that damage.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Because it's kind of close to Fulminator damage, isn't it?
Yeah, like so you got to figure it's probably 4 attacks, right? Because you're gonna do that the first chance
Yeah.
you get.
And then 5 attacks on the leader. And
5,
so,
yeah, 5 attacks on the leader, and so that's what 13 attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, 13 attacks. 30 attacks, 3, so that's roughly have it and go down a little bit. So we'll say you're hitting with 6 of them.
Yeah.
-2, 3.
Mhm.
So -2 gets through a lot of armor. 3 damage, that's 18 damage.
Yeah, well, Fulminators are 5 attacks each, right?
Yeah.
And they're 2 in the
Yeah.
unit. So at 220, And like those things are devastating, right?
Right.
So these are similar in like damage almost exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't even need to be on the charge to do it.
Yeah. They're just like not nearly as survivable,
Yeah, exactly.
but
So they lose some points there.
I think they have to. Yeah. But
So
yeah, no, I think yeah, like 180, maybe even more.
I
'Cause
would
that is a whole lot of damage that they can
I
shell
would
out.
point them at 180, I think, without before playtesting. But if these
Right.
came out and they were like 210, I'd be
Like
like,
I'd
yeah,
still
that's
try 'em.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, 30 points probably isn't going to break anything other than getting the triumph or not.
Right.
Or if you're stacking a bunch of these.
Yeah. Which you might. I don't know.
And a reinforced unit might be filthy.
And they do have 2-inch weapons. So if they're on like 40 millimeter bases,
Yeah.
6 of them, maybe that would do
I think they are
an
on
insane amount of
50.
damage. Can is I don't know the conversion between like 50 millimeter
I don't
and
either.
two
Yeah.
inch, but I bet you can. I bet you can hit with everything with 50s.
I think, yeah, I have high hopes for these.
Mm-hmm.
I think 200 is probably where they're going to end up being.
Yeah,
Because we're not factoring in like allegiance abilities with our assessment too, right?
exactly right. Because we have no idea.
Because like the corn could be very defensive, or any of them could be, and then that might make the shields worth it. And then like I meant Nurgle instead of corn for the defensive. But if like
Sure, yeah.
corn doesn't change, these are like 2s and 2s all of a sudden.
They well, yeah. It would. I would guess corn would go to +1 instead of reroll ones, but yeah,
That's what I'm saying, right?
yeah.
Yeah, like these are worth way
Like
more than 220 in corn. Then
yeah, that would be. Well, I mean, you can look at Varangard for proof of that.
actually,
Shit, the
220
amount
is
of damage.
probably right considering those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like these a lot.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we,
I'm still like a little low on the 5-up save, and I feel like some points should come off of that. But maybe they're just like more alpha striking, and they just like they're gonna hit like a truck, and you're just gonna kill stuff, and that's your defense.
yeah,
Right?
and like we're comparing them to fulminators, which are like one of the most famously underpointed units in this game,
Right.
and they're like close to it. So I think like if they're 220, it's not that they're too expensive; it's that fulminators are too cheap.
Well, the thing with fulminators also though is like they move faster too. They move a lot faster.
A lot faster, yeah.
Yeah, these guys are kind of slow, and they have really bad saves, so like
They
you can
count as a
easily see
lot
them getting.
more on the or two more on the objective too, which might mean something. But yeah, with their
Yeah,
save, I don't know. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see what the. I'm just gonna. I'll say they're probably 200.
yeah, I can see 200.
Got
But like
people
I would
on.
try them at 220, and I think they would still be good.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll put a pin in that, and
Yeah,
we'll see in a few months.
yeah. So I'm gonna put an official apology out here to Chaos Dwarf players with the Horns of Hashut here, because
Oh.
Hashut was the actual Chaos Dwarf deity, and these are all humans. Yeah,
Oops.
yeah. So like they're coming, but like I don't know why these weren't like them. You know?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they did like say they basically said that they're gonna show up. Like they all but said it.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah. They were like, you might recognize this name and stay tuned for more.
Yeah,
Is what I remember them
like this
saying.
company wants to sell your childhood back to you. Like
Yeah.
it's a matter of
Oh, yeah.
time before they do it. Like we're getting
Yeah.
the Skaven relaunch, we're getting a Seraphon relaunch, we're getting the Dark Elves,
Mm.
and I'm so sick of hearing the Dark Elves because for like 6 years people are like, "Oh, Malarian's elves are right around the corner," and it's like, "Oh, the next General's Handbook." Like, they're really hinting at like Olgu. It's gonna be that, and I'm like, I think it's gonna be Gur again. They're like, "No, you're an idiot." Guess where it is?
Her again.
Yeah, yeah. I accept your apology. Anyway, but like I think we talked about these, and I think we really liked them. So they're 4-up save, which is decent. We don't know their points though.
Yeah.
6 bravery. They have like okay attacks for like a little chaff unit. These tend to be in like the 80s to 100s, right? The underworld
Usually like
warbands.
70, 75.
Yeah, I meant Warcry. Yeah, okay. And so one of them has like a shooting attack, which the attack characteristic is equal to the number of models in the unit to a max of 8. But it's 2 threes, no rend, 1 damage. The no rend
It's
kind
in,
of sucks, but
it's in the target unit, right?
yes.
Yeah, target unit. Okay.
Yep. But like 8 attacks isn't bad.
But like, especially if it's like a 75-point unit,
Yeah.
right? Like that's pretty cool,
Rounds out a
actually.
list, yeah.
Like,
Way better
yeah,
than an endless spell.
yeah,
Oh, by the
for
way,
sure.
I tried the Termin or the more I think it's a Mortalis Terminexus for Night Haunt.
Hmm.
We super undervalued that thing in our review.
Yeah,
That thing's nuts.
cool.
Yep.
I don't.
There's
I don't exactly.
it was like an
I think
aura
you told
of
me
like
like two or
D3
three
mortal
times.
wounds, basically.
Oh yeah, but it also had the
Yeah.
healing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So like you're playing Hero Hammer with your like bodyguard. So your bodyguard
Hmm.
units are gonna be low wounds and your heroes are gonna have taken some damage. So you bring it back and
Yep.
heal all your guys up, or you launch it forward with your Emerald Curse. And you're like doing 2d3 wounds to like most things.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there was like a turn I took out like 6 or like 8 of the Reavers just with like that and the army passive.
Wow.
Anyway, we're way sidetracked. Anyway, yeah. But
That's okay.
yeah. So it's got like the decent ranged attack, okay melee damage. And then whenever it makes a charge, you roll a dice for each model in this unit. Each 6 up as a mortal wound. And like that's pretty good on ogres, and this is like a unit of 9, I think. So it's like a damage and a
Uh,
half.
10 models.
10 models. Okay. Oh yeah, it just says it right there. Okay. So still a damage and a half on average.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of these as far as like barring points. But if they're like the same points as like the Untamed Beasts and stuff.
Yeah.
And they look really cool too, like the idea of like Chaos having like an industrial force is awesome to me.
It is kind of cool.
And this is
I
like
do like that.
yeah, it's awesome. And, like this is the kind of glow up I want to see for like the rest of them, right?
Right.
Like what's the Hish ones? Cypher Lords?
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds right.
and, like they have like this really weird like maybe it sometimes work -1 to hit. But if they just had like a once per game, just snap the button -1 to hit, I bet you would see those a lot more, right?
Right.
And like I bet like the Corvus Cabal could have a really cool deep strike thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of like they could give them better abilities, like make
Yeah,
them more fun to use. Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping to see in this battle tome coming up.
Yeah.
And like this is a promising start,
Yeah.
to be honest. Yeah, and they're fucking cool. Look at these guys. Like
Right?
they got that Sumerian
I
vibe.
love the Warcry stuff.
Yeah.
I'm quite the sucker for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, the last box I loved I recently painted up the spiders and I love them. The other guys, super can leave them though. I did not like them at all.
I get it. I
Yeah.
like them
They're not
because
my style.
you probably want to play Marauders at some point, and those look way better.
Well, yes, that is true. I'll give you that one for sure.
Yeah, and I know somebody's like all about them,
Oh yeah,
so I'm happy for
probably.
them. I think the
Yeah.
spiders are actually kind of cool right now, and even in AOS, because the Kabbalists have a thing where you like sacrifice to get bonuses to cast, and then the spiders in the unit just come back.
Right.
So you bring
Yeah.
those in your
Yeah, they
Kabbalist
got that
army, and you just
cool
eat
little
them.
thing.
Yeah,
Yep. No, that is really neat.
yeah, and they're battle line too if you have the same mark.
Yep.
So like they actually might have some chutzpah to them, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? So one thing I meant to point out about these guys is you'll notice they do not have. Uh, um, okay, well, oh yeah, because this is from the new book,
Yeah.
and they don't have a Mark of Chaos keyword.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? It might be. So
What's
you know
that?
how the Grimwrath Berserker has like an oath it takes, and they removed it from the War Scroll and put it to the Allegiance ability.
But the ogres did have Mark of Chaos written down.
Yeah, but they're not a Warcry thing.
No, but so what you're thinking that it's like all cultists have Mark of Chaos or
Yes.
something? See, that seems weird because why wouldn't they just put it on the war scroll at that
because they
point?
don't want it to be a coalition unit.
But you only get the marks in Slice of Darkness,
But
right?
if you're
Oh, because of
Nurgle,
the coalition.
you can take the Nurgle coalition. You can take Slaves of Darkness marked Nurgle shit from Slaves of
Oh,
Darkness and
right.
Faggot of Nurgle.
Yeah.
So they don't want to
yeah.
put all of the cultists into the other
Into all
Chaos
the
Ghost
books.
book. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's why.
All right. I hope there's an actual reason. Yeah, like that. That would be good.
Yeah, I'm
That'd be fun.
1,000% sure that's it. Yeah, there's no way they're not getting the mark.
Well, I mean, that's what we said originally, and then they didn't, and then they got it added later.
Yeah,
It'd just be really weird if they then took it away yet again.
yeah. I don't
Well,
think they're gonna. Yeah,
I don't think they're going to.
I think
either.
it's just gonna be an allegiance ability though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, okay. So that's all we got today. And yeah, we're half.
Well, and it's
over, but yeah.
9:30.
So that's perfect timing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good time.
Unless the books are leaked or whatever, I think next week we want to talk about the one-page rules, see what we think.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
I think I'd like that,
I'll
so-
get something together for that.
Yeah, and you just send it to me, and I'll still drive it because I got the Stream Deck.
Yeah, that's probably best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, like I'm very happy with everything we saw. To be honest,
Yeah,
like the stuff is like at worst fun,
yeah.
and like that's a great place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I'm so excited for the Skaven stuff because I think both of those changes were so freaking good for the army.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so
And I was really happy to see the Slaves of Darkness book announced because like that's like quickly become like just my number one army
oh yeah, sure,
that
man.
I
I would
just
say
like,
for now.
want to play. Yeah. So like it's really cool that that's gonna. Even though I really like the book as it is,
Mhm.
like I'll take new stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna complain. Yeah.
I think
No complaining here.
except for like the Nurgle book and the Soulblight Gravelords book, I think those Soulblight Gravelords, Nurgle, and Slaves to Darkness are like the top 3 best like internally balanced multiple list style books so far.
Yeah.
Like I love the Nighthaunt book, but I think there's not as much list variety as those 3.
I mean, well, Nurgle maybe not as much, but like Slaves of Darkness has a ridiculous amount of stuff that it can run. Right?
There are like 5
Yeah.
competitively viable lists in Slaves to
Yeah.
Darkness and Soulblight.
Yeah.
But like I think
Which-
Nurgle actually does too, because there's like I don't know if the summoning list is viable, but you have that. There's like a pure demon list, there's a pure mortal list, there's a mixed arms list, there's the
I
3 maggot lords list. And
I
there's a
suppose they
Glotman.
do actually have a lot more models than I think they do. Yeah. So
Like
I
that
think
book is
I think
insanely good.
yeah. I think Nighthaunt just doesn't have the model count to like have that many lists. Otherwise, it probably would.
I think the thing with Nighthaunt is that there's so many things that are like so fucking good that are auto includes. So you're
Yeah,
like,
so
I
it's
need the
like-
+1 to save bubble on a caster that brings back models. I need the guy that brings back models. I need the guy who's -1 damage. That's 3 like heroes right there. Like
You're
I have
right,
to
yeah.
take, right?
Yeah.
And then like I need at least 1 unit of Spirit Host because that's what makes the book work.
Right.
And I need like I always take 2, and I'm starting to consider 3.
Mm.
Like just always. And like Reikenor is
Fair
like
enough.
so hard to pass up. There's just like a lot of stuff that's like so perfect for that book that it has to be taken, I feel like.
Yeah. Like you feel like you'd be gimped without having
Yeah.
that available.
Honestly, Kurdos is like approaching that for me, to be honest.
Yeah, he seemed ridiculous.
Yeah. So like
yeah,
there's
how much
just-
damage did you say he was dealing? Like
on average
something
he was doing
ridiculous.
about 12.
that's crazy.
Yep. Because like I think it's hard to realize until you really play it, but like you're bringing the Guardian of Souls and you're bringing the chain or the chain ghasts. So like if they're in the right bubbles, which you force to happen, everything is 2s and 2s. So he's just
Yeah.
sitting there 2s and 2s -3, 3, maybe -4.
Oh my
Because you
god.
charged everything in, right?
Oh yeah.
And like, and
That's
yeah, and I
nuts.
was just like rolling
Yeah.
double 1s a lot too. And he has 6 other attacks. that are 1 damage, but like that helps.
Yeah, it's something.
Like he can take Kragnos out by himself, and he has
That's
the
a
Ren
lot
to
of
do
damage.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, he really does.
like he's so good.
Like yeah. Like, hey, Kragnos, have a 6-up save, bud.
Yeah, -4. Yeah,
Yeah,
even with all out defense 5-up, it's like how does it
yeah.
feel? Yeah,
It's like you probably wouldn't even. I don't even know if you use the all out defense at that point unless you have like the command point to spare.
yeah, I
It's like
guess.
not even
Hmm.
that much.
And like the thing is too is like if you do the hero hammer thing and charge like 6+ guys, there's a
Yeah,
pretty
you
good
could get
chance you
that.
get the like strike last.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then like you're not like you do like 14 damage to him and you're not even done fighting him.
right. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah.
crazy.
I'm a good chunk of the way done with Allrack here. I'm very
Nice.
happy with how like the Spirit Host came out,
Oh, that looks really cool.
but I need to do a little bit more on the boat. There's like a pile of skulls here that's going to be very difficult to get to.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Mm-hmm. And then I want to do some sort of dry brushing on the dark blue top part of the cloak here. And then
Hmm.
I want to put like some yellow on the light there. And then I got like roses all the way down the stem, and I realize I don't have a green for that, so I'm gonna need to pick that up.
Cool.
And then
No,
just
that guy
the
looks really
bases.
sweet though.
I think what I want to do is like get coral and shit for the base
Mhm.
to make it look like he's still in the water. And like that idea I always talked about making the table that was in the drained ocean in Shaiish.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He's a
yeah.
boatman. He belongs there.
He fits perfect.
Yeah, I might do that
Yeah.
instead of snow, even though it doesn't fit the army. But I think it would be a fun.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, do
Yeah,
it. Sounds
exactly.
great.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm very happy with that so far.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's it for tonight.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for showing up. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about the 1 page rules a little bit. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
See you guys. That was
Perfect.
a good stream. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.